Hello and welcome everybody to the Sunday P-Cup Support Series, which will be briefly followed up by the Sunday GT3 main event. I'm going to be joined in the booth. First off, I'm Mike Nause, and I will be joined in the booth today by Daniel Verçosa. Dan, welcome.
Thank you for having me here, Mike. It's a huge pleasure to finally be in the booth. For those who don't know me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Daniel Verçosa. You all can call me Dan. I'm here as a community moderator in Trackalicious, and I've been here in the community for like a couple of years now. Although we've only a couple of podiums. I'm here acting as the Brazilian commentator for both Sunday series to provide some Portuguese translations from chat and answer any questions with linguistic barriers.
Absolutely. So big thank you to Daniel Verçosa for being here today. Also, big thank you to Jacob Church, who's already dropping 5 gift subs, an absolute madman. Is that 5 or is that 6? That's 5, yes. Absolutely crazy. Thank you so much, Jacob, for your continued support. Forzy has the race started. We are in qualifying right now, but the race is very close to starting. If you get booted in, you might be able to make it. As well, Chris Rise, welcome. Thought this was the GT3 series. No. I probably should have titled it differently. I might next week. I wanted to keep the title short and sweet and to the point, but I see how that could add some confusion. My apologies. No heart attacks here. No, we're having the Porsche Cup Support Series here first. And yes, as Dan was saying, it's a very Portuguese, a lot of Portuguese drivers here in the series, Brazilians as well. Well, of course, Brazilian, Portuguese, whatever. Anyways, any questions or comments or anything that you guys have in Portuguese, feel free to throw Dan's way because he is fluent. So I am not. I don't know any Portuguese, but maybe together we can find out a little bit here. As it stands, though, we are in the qualifying session here of the Porsche Cup race here at Misano. A very, very fun track. Lots of curves. Track limits are going to be a big factor here tonight. Misano, of course, 2.6 miles, founded back in 1972. It's got a couple corners, 16 of them, in fact, 6 to the left, 10 to the right, as I cheat with my note sheet, as I don't remember that one. And also Dan dropping a subscription as well. Thank you, Danny Verçosa, of course, in the chat with
Incredible.
Absolute legend. And Kevin Rivera as well, welcome. And speaking of Kevin Rivera, as well as a lot of other supporters, Jacob Church as well, we recently have released a Trackalicious Patreon, and so far it's been doing quite well. Big thank you to all of the Trackalicious Patron members. All the names can be found there on screen. So massive shout out to you guys, and thank you so much for your support here at Trackalicious, as well as all of our subs and just viewers here that have come in and said hi, dropped us a follow, came in and said hello in chat. You guys are all awesome, and we appreciate you equally. And thank you to Lizzie. Welcome, Lizzie, as well as Automatic Rabbit. Welcome. We are going to be getting into the start of this race here relatively soon. It will be an outlap, 2.6 miles here at Misano. We'll get in and meet our drivers here. There's only 8 drivers, unfortunately, on the field, which you know what that means, guys. It means you guys need to sign up for this Porsche Cup League. As we can pop up the calendar right now, you can see it. We have plenty of races. October 22nd being the first one here. Next week we'll be at Paul Ricard on the 29th. And make sure you guys sign up. We need some more drivers for this Porsche Cup League, and we encourage every skill level of driver into this one. Of course, it's the support series to the GT3 main event, which is going to be the more competitive, of course, event. And that is where a lot of the drivers do end up with their seats. But this is going to be a nice little 35-minute sprint. Super fun and just a lot of close racing we're going to see. We have Lucas Mind out there, the little Brazilian, awesome live streamer. So definitely looking forward to the up and coming here, what we have for us the next 35 minutes, Dan. They're going to be extremely exciting.
Yeah, I already see a question from Kevin and Chad asking if a hot dog is a sandwich.
Oh, no! Not again!
Is this a running joke?
No, we don't need this again. Oh,
Okay, it's a sausage sandwich.
No, this is what a callback. First off, yes, Ricardo. Oh, why don't we get in here? We got 1 minute on the clock. We'll get a little bit of sexy sax rolling. I'll probably just cut it off in the middle, unfortunately, as there's not going to be enough drivers to fill the air. But as we have it here, starting off in pole position, It is going to be the Portuguese driver here of Alex Afonso, Andre Alex Afonso here, the 999 Porsche Cup car. Of course, all cars are going to be Porsche Cups here on the grid. Next to them will be George Elmer, the number 22 car in P2. Marcelo Ramon asking, how can we participate? Well, I will get to that here in a minute. Lucas Mind, the little Brazilian knee mind out there on Twitch, will be lined up here in P3, the number 19 Porsche, next to Devin Anthony in the Rockefeller Racing 664 in the P4. Ivan Petty will be lined up in 5th position next to Jacob Church in the 1 Bigley in the 253. Once again, big thank you to Jacob Church for your continued support. Eric the Boss Kakasian lined up in P5, the Armenian driver I don't think he's actually going to be racing. We'll see. Vadik Odstitsiev will be bringing up the rear, last but not least. And how can you participate, you ask? Well, as Daniel Verçosa has pointed out there in chat, or posted a link to, you can find a link to the championship for the Porsche Cup support series directly there. As well, if you are interested in any other series that we have, you can find the sim grid, but there, that will bring you a direct link to the this series, where once again you can find the signups there. We are going to be Sundays at 7:30 Eastern Time. And Dan, as they begin their outlap here, we can hear these Porsche Cup cars screaming. And I know these are some of the favorites, Dan. You have quite a bit of experience driving these cars.
Oh, absolutely. And they're quite the challenge, to say the least. I already know a couple of corners that they're going to struggle with, or at least I would struggle with. I would say at the exit of turn 6, getting onto the back straight, accelerating off a curb, actually an outside curb, the rear may get loose at any point in time. And I would say on turns 9 and 10, there's a inclination difference between like a left inclination and a right inclination. And you know, these cars do not have traction control. They're basically the road-going cars with a roll cage and without traction control. So they don't have much aero as a proper GT3 car. So they may experience a bit of understeer here. And then when they take turn 10, on the exit, they may get a little bit of oversteer getting into that big straight.
Yes, indeed. And sorry, I was just going over a few things there. And yeah, the first corner as well going to be, as you said, turn 6, where we're going to see a lot of the action. A very tricky corner, turn 6, which of course is going to be leading on to that back straight, well, back straight-ish, the shortest little bit, where we're going to see some overtaking into the Quesira curve. I tried. I definitely don't know how to pronounce that one. The corner names here, not too familiar with my Italian, not the greatest.
Maybe. I'll try getting that Latin going.
Yeah, my Italian is not necessarily good, unfortunately. Thomas Snoopy, welcome. And thank you once again, Marcelo Ramon. We got some support there for RSJ supporting Lucas Mind, the little Brazilian out there. 2.6 miles here as we approach the final corner now. Coming around now, the final corner to the start-finish line. It is going to be Alex Afonso on pole position. Next to him, George Elmer in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me is Dan Verçosa as we get ready to head to the first chicane now. It's going to be a tight one. You can see all of the cars. Great picture. Then we're going to go 3 wide in the back. Big lunge there from George Elmer onto the outside. Going to turn to the inside, though, for the next part of the corner. He's not quite far enough alongside. In fact, has Lucas Mind challenging up the outside now. 3 wide again from Ivan Petty, Devin Anthony, and Vadik Odstitsiev. Now coming on to the very, very tricky, tight triple right-hander here. Big send from the blue number 73 there. And what a start we have so far. You can tell these drivers elbows out and ready to go, Dan. Oh!
Yeah.
Beaks off. Carrying.
Oh, Vadik! He didn't have a chance at qualifying. Now he doesn't get a chance to be at the front of the pack.
It will be quite the ask to catch up here, but if these guys continue scrapping like they are, Vadik will catch up pretty quickly. Ivan Petty here, you can see leading these guys ahead in the Porsche Cup GT3 official here. The number 77, well, not leading them, leading this small little pack here of 3. Where you can see in the background Vadik catching up. He's working his way too. Subscribe to GT3. See you later, Marcelo. And the downshifts in the car sound so good. Yes, they do. We can ride on here with the number 664 of Devin Anthony. And hear the lovely buzzing bees. Actually, into the pit. Is there a mandatory pit on this? There is.
Yes.
Oh, going for that early stop, getting out of the clean air, or getting out of the dirty air to get into clean air early on here. Interesting strategy.
I was a big fan of this strategy back in the first Porsche Cup season. And it's very smart, as Kyle Hampshire was supporting me in one of the races. By getting into the pit very early, you get to have that sweet clean air. You don't get very nervous with people near you. And especially with the Porsche Cup, since it has no traction control, when the car is light, it's very lively. The rear just goes when you don't expect.
Yeah, no traction control, especially later on in the race, really can affect your tires. Puts a lot more heat into them as you don't have that electronic assist to tell them when not to spin when they should not be. Lucas Mind here, an avid Porsche Cup driver, very experienced with this car. Big slide, as we can see exactly what we were just talking about there from Ivan Petty. As he gets on the throttle a little too exuberantly there and has a bit of heat getting pushed through those rears. Also, anybody interested here in looking at the live timings, of course, we do have a pit wall as well, !pit wall in chat. You can find the link to there. We can watch a race unfold with data. It's very awesome. You can find all the information, all the times of these drivers and how long they spend in the pits. We'll wait here to see how long Vadik spends. Vadik actually already came in for his stop as well. He spent about 34 plus 41 seconds. Of course, the pit stop here at Misano, actually one of the longest in the entirety of the game. It relative, I think, to the lap time. Let me double check that. Actually, it's pretty bad. 67% of your lap will be spent in the pits. Not quite as bad as Indianapolis, but still one of the tracks that is up there in terms of the... You definitely don't want to be picking up a drive-through. A drive-through will cost you 28 seconds, so...
Exactly. That pit entry, the board is right there. And if that board gets taken out, good luck. Just spot that line, and it's merciless. The entry is merciless, the exit is merciless, because you'll be spending out most of your pit.
Cars just sound so lovely as they plummet down through the gears. Ivan Petty here, not going to be giving Lucas Mind any breathing room whatsoever. What can the little Brazilian do? It's Ivan Petty here, biding his time and waiting. 35-minute race. Of course, it's a bit of a sprint race there. Not too much time to get anything done, really. He's going to be just waiting, playing patient here, and seeing if Lucas Mind maybe can make a mistake here. Lucas Mind in the R2A2 Motorsports here. Take a look at the livery. Not sure if this is an in-game livery or not.
No, that's their team name, R2A2.
Oh, that's right, of course it is. Yes, duh. The Oswaldo Cruz. What does that say on there, Dan? Not sure, but regardless, lovely Trackalicious Sim Racing as well on there. Yeah, that right there, Dan. I think that's just a name.
Chemistry. That's Chemica. Chemistry.
Chemistry?
Probably, like, actually, I don't know. Maybe he's a teacher, like Oswaldo Cruz is a teacher. Or maybe it's like a company. I have never heard of it.
Cousin of R2D2, says Trackalicious, or Eric Kakasian, who's in the wrong account. I have a feeling that's not true, but it's a distant cousin. Of course, R2-B2 and R2-C2 as well in there. They're brothers and sisters, but Lucas Mind a little bit more distant than that. We have Alex Afonso here, the Portuguese driver, leading the race. You can see the Portugal flag there represented on the rear wing of the Intercontinental Racing. Now, this is a livery that is so cool. It isn't as cool when the Intercontinental Racing only has one Intercontinental driver. However, in the endurance races, they put their team's flags in a diamond up at the top there, all representative of the countries of the drivers that are behind the wheel of that team. So, super cool. You get to see the American flag, the Brazilian flag, and I think the Canadian flag, as they have that variety of drivers. Or no, excuse me, the Portuguese flag. My apologies. But nonetheless, very awesome livery. Great Trackalicious color as well. Eric probably losing his mind if he sees that. It's not the Trackalicious colors.
As long as you don't stress the Trackalicious font. Just don't do what I did. But yeah, props to Alex Afonso. If he's really in Portugal, because I know some people will run their flags from the country they're from, but if he really is in Portugal right now, he's racing at midnight. So
wow.
It is coming on to Monday, and he's here racing us. So props to him. And props to him for being the lead.
Yeah, Alex Afonso races in quite a few of our racing series, so now that you mention it, if it is midnight, he probably lives over here in America, but is Portuguese by birth, if I had to guess.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a guess. I don't know.
I see his ping. It's not as low as you would expect from a North American.
Yeah, very well. If he's racing at midnight, that is some true dedication. I know we have some crazy Euros that race at like 3 a.m., so he wouldn't be alone in that endeavor.
So I see a question in chat by Eric. Little Brazilian would be Brasileirinho. I think I have seen some people cheering for Lucas Mind back in the day on the first season, saying Brasileirinho. So that's Little Brazilian. Yeah, exactly. I see some Lucas Mind fans here. Bem-vindos, galera. Eu sou comentarista aqui brasileiro, falando português. Tô aqui para traduzir para vocês qualquer dificuldade que vocês tiverem. Tô aqui para responder.
Lucas Mind definitely has his fair share of followers out there, and they are one of the biggest things I love about not just the little Brazilian as well, Lucas Mind. It's about Brazilians in general, is they have so much energy and passion, especially towards motorsports, and it's just, they are some of the most fun people to watch, and they really put their heart into what they do and try to become the absolute best they possibly can at it. And I have massive respect for, well, Portuguese and Brazilians. They are, like I say, just the energy. I love it. I love it. Ivan Petty behind has fallen off the pace quite a bit, actually, of Lucas Mind. He has found the hammer and managed to get it down here, running 138.0 last lap. This time around 137.9. Not quite his quickest. He had a 137.8 as his fastest lap. Though the fastest lap in general, actually, is held by none other than Vedika Stitsiev, who had a off on the first lap there, and is going to be head down, seeing red. 136.6 is the time to beat, and that was what he set last lap. He is on a tear right now.
Yeah, he's on a mission to get off the last spot. Be on a massive recovery drive.
We'll see him, I presume, get to the rear bumper there of the Rockefeller Racing Porsche Cup car relatively soon here. I'm not sure I actually have the livery of that Porsche, the Rockefeller Racing, unfortunately. I think it didn't show up, just pink. Vadik here, though, in the Odstitsev Motors, or Autosports, excuse me. Lizzie asking, who is in the booth with me? Well, Daniel Verçosa, one of our community members, community admins, excuse me, and fellow Portuguese driver, not fellow Portuguese, I'm not Portuguese, but a Portuguese driver as well. Joining me in the booth,
Hello.
Whoa! Devin Anthony, under pressure. I don't think there was contact. Let's take a look here. Watching it back, like I said, I was looking at my other monitor as Vadik closes in quite a bit. Ooh, there may be a nope, there wasn't a tap. It was hard to tell. There might have been one on the apex. And if it was a very light one. But it might have been enough to unsettle that car of Devin Anthony. The stewards may be having a word. I'm not sure.
Probably a bit unsettling on having Otitiev behind on the rearview mirror. Just closing in. Or was it Jacob Church? I'm not sure.
That's Titiev, yeah. It's an awesome livery here. The Titiev Auto Sports. Like I said before here. Lovely Trackalicious number 73 logo. That's awesome. Hard Base School. Not sure what that is, but...
Oh no, hard bass is it's a Slav joke, if I'm not mistaken. It's a common music genre from I think it's in Russia. It's generic Slavic places.
Fair enough, fair enough. Also, Chronotis says gradient. Oh yes, there's a gradient on the logo. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful Eric. As he is forever in Institiev's debt now. And Jacob Church here in the one bigly. Not quite a gradient. Does have an amazing... I don't remember the word that he used, but a sort of like a holographic livery is how I look at it. Or one of those ones that make you see, when you look at it at different angles, you see different things, that sort of thing.
Like came Back to the Future, that cap.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but sure.
Oh, like Marty McFly's hat cap. I have to send you a picture of it later.
Lovely apex there from Jacob as he takes it nice and slow through the first few corners there. On the throttle, bit too early, but that's such an easy thing to do here. Actually, Jacob Church gaining a solid 10th there in the first corner. Now coming into the very tricky corner complex here. It's a triple right-hander, and you can see it is, well, you're not really supposed to be turning left at that stage in the corner. Bit of an error there from Jacob Church. Only loses a 10th, though, which shows you just how tough that complex is. Even with an error like that, there's still so much time on the table there. But these Porsche Cup cars are just so tricky to navigate through there. It's the slightest bit of throttle too much will end up in what exactly we just saw there.
Yeah, the fastest way to drive a Porsche Cup is just don't give your 100%.
Slow and steady wins the race. It's the tortoise versus the hare. Unfortunately, the hare is currently winning. That's Alex Afonso. We'll see if the turtle has anything to say about it, but Afonso right now on a barnstormer of a drive and lapping very well, actually. Not quite the quickest still. Vadik has that title. Vadik really would have been up there in the front if he had not had that incident on the first lap. It's really unfortunate. I'm not sure what caused that, if it was self-inflicted or if there was contact to assist him off. We do also have Lucas Mind coming into the pits now. The little Brazilian in the R2A2 will be serving his mandatory stop. And Jacob Church here still trying to keep it basically between the mayo and the mustard. That's the biggest thing on this track is track invalidation. We just saw Devin Anthony, I think, have a bit of a exactly what I did. We didn't quite see it, but that is, I think, what just happened there. Devin Anthony having a little bit of an off. Cost him potentially a track warning. Needs to keep an eye on that. He is going to gain the position, though. No, maybe. Of course, the pit lane, one of the longest, but it does skip the first chicane, so you will come out right back onto the track, and he is going to be quite far ahead there of Devin Anthony. Actually about 8 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, but Dick is still on a mission. He was over a second faster than Alex Afonso on Alex's last lap. He's approaching very, very fast.
He was 3 seconds a lap faster than Jacob Church. He might still be in it for the win of this race, actually, looking at the deltas.
I was about to say, the podium is very, very much possible for him.
As it stands, Lucas Mind there, you can see him in the background, but no, I think Vadik, you're right. I think Vadik is going to maybe take the lead here because, in fact, I think almost, well, okay, maybe we won't pay any mind to that. Needs to keep it on the track. That's his biggest deal. Looking at the pit times, we're seeing consistently over a minute, which the gap to the lead for Vadik right now is not over a minute. In fact, I think this undercut strategy seems to be working really well. These drivers that have gone for it early, I know you mentioned earlier, Dan, that pitting early can just put you into that clear air and give you a nice bubble to work with. It seems like every single driver that has gone for it might actually be rewarded handedly. We'll see, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I just saw, I'm not sure, but I may have seen Alex Afonso get into the pit a bit too fast.
Oh my, that could change everything here tonight. As Vadik looking for the win, Alex Afonso still probably looking for P2, but that could make the difference between P2 and even P last here. The 7 drivers, all of them are going to be fairly close on track here. And George Elmer has had a spin on track. He kills the car as well. Let's ride on board. Let's see what happened here. Coming now through the 3rd corner, 4th corner, 5th now. Or is this the 6th? Which is this? Oh! The front end just did not grip up. And as a result, a little bit too much of a correction turned into oversteer, and the rear end then went flying.
Exactly how I said. Turn 6 and by 2, getting into that back straight.
Jacob Church is in the pits. Alex Afonso was out of the pits, and he seems to be clean. The stewards have deemed his pit entry a clean and fair entry. Not going to be picking up a penalty, thankfully, for him.
Following my point of view, looked a bit too fast on my end, but...
Karu, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world, along with everybody tuning in tonight. Big thank you. As well, one more time, I will say a big thank you to everybody supporting here on Patreon as well. All of our Twitch subscriptions and server supporters as well. You guys are amazing and really make what we do here incredible. I'll pop up a list real quick of all of the Trackalicious Sim Racing patron members, and a big thank you. I think this should be a fully updated list. Yes, I think so. So thank you guys so much for supporting us, and also big thank you to everybody that has just hit the follow button here to chat as well. We appreciate every single one of you, every one of you in chat. Also, we have, of course, coming up in the future, we have plenty of leagues to keep an eye out for here. We have, of course, the Porsche Cup Series, which we only have 9 drivers for signed up. We need to change that, everybody. Let's get some more drivers in this league so we can hear these amazing cars roaring around here at Paul Ricard next week. As well, GT3 Championship, which is going to be supported by our Porsche Cups. That'll be on next, of course, right after that, no break. It's going to be a 30-45 doubleheader today. Next week will be a 90-minute Enduro. as well. Coming up, it's going to be on November 11th, a 6-hour endurance race at Watkins Glen. Now, Dan, that one's going to be extremely exciting, I got to say. Also, we have a GT4 Rookie Series and a GT4 Open Series. Those are going to be GT4 Open Series, going to be strictly paid for, and for our patron members as well as server supporters. Once again, thank you guys for that. That'll be on 9:30 Eastern Standard Time and 8:30 for the Rookie League. Anybody, of course, can enter the Rookie Series, and that's one of our most popular championships. So if you guys are looking to dip your toe in the waters of sim racing, make sure you guys get signed up for that, because that is such a fun and amazing league over there. And on Thursdays, also, you cannot forget the M2 Reverse Grid, the first race, 2 doubleheaders 2020. The first race, of course, will be just the regular qualifying positions, then the second race will be flipped. We had that at Kyalami. Next week we'll be at Olton. Some amazing races coming up here for Trackalicious. Like I say, make sure you guys find all of that juicy action over on SimGrid, which you can find the link for in chat if I can type it correctly. There it is. As well.
Now, Mike, we see a stop and go 30 for Ivan Petty.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Presume speeding in the pits, and that's a pretty serious speeding in the pits as well. I have the thing on screen. There we go. Okay, so now you guys can see. And a hydrate as well from Captain Insano.
Oh, yes, I do have my gallon ready here. And I was about to say that I would like to correct myself that the pit entry is not a case of Kyalami. There's actually a turn before the board. I thought it was right out onto that little box on that sign.
Oh, Captain Insano. I knew that name looked familiar. That's Chris Tones. All right. Alex Afonso here leading the race still. With Vidic 11.5 seconds behind. I know we said that Vidic might come out in front. I honestly thought he would. But as it stands, he is going to be in P2 and lapping still 1.5 seconds quicker each lap than Alex Afonso in front.
Alex just needs to hold that on to 11 more minutes. Or at least 11 minutes. Because there's a final lap.
And Chris, popping in just to make sure I stay hydrated. I appreciate that. You know, that's not just a reminder for me, Chris. That's a reminder for everybody in chat to stay hydrated. It's one of the crucial fluids of life there. And everybody, you know, you got to have a little bit. We can't just be drinking coffee and Monster all day, even though I had a sip of Monster. So, you know, no hypocrite there. But do as I say, not as I do.
You know, I'm starting to consider staying as a commentator for longer, just so I can just get my water schedule back properly.
If you're here at Trackalicious, you are going to be plenty hydrated, don't worry. Our chat makes sure of that. There's a few members out there I know. I'm not sure we've seen them tonight. I think we would know as soon as we see them a lot of the times. But nonetheless, awesome community that we have here, and thank you guys all for being a part of it. George Elmer, he's going to be putting the pressure here onto Lucas Mines soon, but he has some damage picked up on the front end from that spin that we saw earlier. This is a car that I need to get a livery inspection on out of all liveries in the game. Come on. Look at this. The Simnut Racing. A little bit of damage. Ignore the front end. Pretend like that's painted, okay? Just use your imagination. There's no damage on it.
Yeah, that's a classic livery. He's been running it since the first Speed Cup season.
Yeah, he has it on a few of his cars as well. I think he has a BMW, George Elmer, but an amazing livery and just such a nice flow to it. You can see him here catching up. That's going to be Ivan Petty ahead. That is not Lucas Mine. Also, AV6 Scott subscribed for 9 months in a row. Man, AV6 Scott, you've been here for 9 months? Feels like yesterday. No, not really. Honestly, I didn't think it was that long. Man, you've been here for a while. Big thank you for your continued support. Of course, AV6 Scott, a Rookie League driver, also a streamer on Twitch. He does some driving as well. I think there's some other stuff, but I think mostly driving. So make sure you guys check out Scott over there on Twitch. He is an awesome guy and really I mean, like I said, just an awesome guy. I don't think there's any other way of putting it. Super nice. Runs an awesome stream over there and is always working on improving his driving. So make sure you guys.
Something just happened to Jacob Church. I'm sorry, Mike.
No.
But he just stopped onto the side and returned to the pit.
Very unfortunate. Car is still running. We'll see if he returns back out onto track. Unfortunate there for Jacob Church. I hope he's good there. 8 minutes, 36 seconds left to go. Not much time on the clock. George Elmer can pop on board with him. Hear the flat 6-engine roar down the front straight. As we approach now the hairpin, which leads to the back not-so-straight bit of this track, onto the urinal straight, as I like to call it. If anyone wonders why, that is why. Right there. I didn't come up with it. The game did. Nonetheless. George Elmer. Gaining. Under braking here. You can see fourth gear tight. Very tricky corner complex here. Got to go down 2 gears to get the car slowed down and then look for the braking marker off to the side, which is so hard to spot, and down 2 more gears into second there. Coasting around in third gear on the throttle, you can see that steering wheel seesawing as he goes through. Going to be coming across the line now one more time. Not going to be the greatest lap there for Jacob Church, for George Elmer. 138.0 this time around. His fastest lap of 137.3. Definitely needs to get a hurry up on here. Running out of time to catch up with Lucas Mind. Lucas Mind, the little Brazilian, as I said before, he is a fighter. I do not predict we're going to see him give this position up to George Elmer easily. And George is going to have to take that with both hands. And maybe even a crowbar.
We don't support a crash in here.
Yes. Maybe not a crowbar. Maybe leave the crowbar behind.
Yeah, but we clearly can see Elmer's pace here last lap with 6/10 faster than Lucas Mine. So Lucas will have to do a lot of work to keep Elmer at bay.
Not quite the greatest angle yet, but this will be a decent representation of the amount of gaining that we're seeing from that Porsche Cup car every corner. Lucas might be struggling for grip here. Karu says that he's got his thick socks on tonight. You love to see it. Ready for racing, which of course, what is he going to be racing in tonight? Well, he's going to be racing, of course, in the GT3 series that is going to be coming up right after this. So don't go anywhere, folks. Of course, this is the Porsche Cup support race, which is the follow-up to our main event tonight, the GT3 Challenge, I guess. I lost my train of thought. But anyways, make sure you guys sign up for that. If you guys haven't, you can still make it in as well. Make sure you guys sign up for this league because we only have 9 drivers signed up and we want some more for next week. It's Porsche Cups, so why wouldn't you want to drive them? They're so much fun.
Oh, big moment for Elmer.
That's not going to help
his loss. A lot of time there.
Let's see what happened here from the onboard. Dan, why don't you take us through this?
I say he lost it on the exit of turn 5 here. Yeah, I know exactly what that is. When you have a boot in front of you in a Porsche Cup, you just want to push as hard as possible. But on that first sector, you just got to take it carefully. And Elmer was a bit too anxious about it. Lost the rear.
Very unfortunate. That might be the saving grace that Lucas Mine needed. I think Lucas could have held on to that position, no doubt. But now George Elmer is really going to struggle to catch up. Also, up at the front, Vadik, his pace has significantly slowed, actually. He must have used up all the life in that tire because he is now lapping 137.4 this time around. Last lap, 137.8. And yeah, much off the pace of what he was earlier, lapping 136.6. He still does have the fastest lap. Catching, though, Alex Afonso is going to be quite the task, Dan.
Yes, with only 4 minutes remaining, that's what I would say 3, 4 laps. Not 4, 3 laps at most. But I would have to do either a miracle or something to unfortunately happen to Alex Alfonso. But judging from Alex's pace right now, he's gonna keep it. He's very steady, has a lot of control on that Porsche Cup.
Been a stellar drive tonight. Pole position for the Portuguese driver and still holding that throughout the 35 minutes, presumably to the end. Of course, our biggest gainer is going to be Vadik, who's up 6 positions from P last. And the one realistic chance here, I think, of an overtake is George Elmer and Lucas Mind. This battle is not over. George needs to gain quite a bit here this lap. We need a mistake from Lucas. He was 3 seconds down, though, at the start of this lap. Now it is 2. So George definitely quicker than Lucas, but I think the little Brazilian, he might be saving a little bit for when he gets closer. And Dan, I think that's one for you there.
Claro, RSJ. Vou te ver aqui então, semana que vem. Talvez eu esteja. Eu tenho um churrasco pra ir, mas se eu chegar um pouquinho mais cedo, vou estar aqui comentando a corrida do Porsche Cup. Mas com certeza vou estar na da GT3, então vou te esperar aqui, viu?
Do you want to throw an English translation in there, Dan?
Oh, okay. I said that I was very happy that he joined, and that I may not be here for the Porsche Cup stream next week because I'm going to a barbecue. So maybe if I get back earlier on, I will be here, but I will absolutely be here for the GT3 race.
Oh, is RSJ, is that Romaldo Jr.?
I think he joined midway, didn't he? Or for the end. But that's good because that's another teammate for is it Lucas Mon? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the R2A2.
Second teammate. That would be sweet to see 2 R2A2 cars on the grid.
Absolutely. I want to see this grid filled up with Brazilians by the end of this, to be completely honest. It would be a dream sight for me.
Actually, let me just get this out of the way with a question for Romaldo. Romaldo, você sabe que patrocinador é esse do Oswaldo Cruz no capô do Porsche Cup do Lucas Mine? I'm just asking what the sponsor on the hood of Lucas Mine's car is.
Brilliant, brilliant. Also, we're on the last lap here. Alex Alfonso crossed the line a good bit ago. However, George Elmer and Lucas Mind have just crossed the line one more time. They're going to have 2.6 miles to scrap it out here with a second between them. George Elmer, his best overtaking opportunity is going to come at the end of this straight. But I think he is just too far back to make that dream happen. That doesn't mean it's over, though. He runs wide, needs to be careful on the track limits. Don't pick up a drive-through penalty on the last lap. That would be worst-case scenario. Comes through, gains. He is going to be gaining. Can pop on board here, George Elmer, the American driver.
Oh, he will have that toe for that back straight, all right. His final lap.
Is it going to be enough here of this lovely 2.6 mile Italian circuit? That is the question. Of course, we are here in the Adricato in Misano, Italy. The leader has finished the race. Alex Alfonso takes the win tonight. We're going to keep an eye, though, on this battle as George Elmer closes up underbraking there into the back section now. 2 more corners to go into the penultimate corner. We're going to have to do this into the curve of Misano. Is it going to happen for George Elmer? No, I do not think it is. George Elmer is going to have to settle for this 130-second penalty given to Petty. What did the game think that he did? That is brutal. Oh my goodness. George Elmore with a little bit of celebration into the barrier at the end. But Ivan Petty, what did you do to the stewards to get a 130-second penalty?
I'm surprised he didn't get disqualified when it was
Right?
speeding at the pit.
What? Oh yeah, 130. Like what?
Like, what's his stop and go? He didn't serve it.
Yeah, but that typically gets a 30-second penalty. Wait, whoa. There's another 130-second penalty for Jacob Church.
No, Jacob Church didn't finish the race at all. He was just given the penalty because he teleported back to the pits without serving the mandatory pit stop.
Oh my!
Oh wait, I think I have an idea. Maybe Ivan Petty, because I saw Ivan stop.
He pit 3 times actually.
He changed his tires, but he didn't refuel.
Oh, that could be. Because yeah, he has 3 pit stops to his name. According to the game, at least, he has 3 pit stops to the name there. As it stands here, we're gonna have a few minutes. We're gonna transition over to the GT3. The GT3.
Wait, are we not gonna have the podium finishers here?
We are gonna have the podium finishers. Yes, if we can get the podium finishers in here, that would be lovely. Thank you for reminding me, Dan. That we're gonna be looking there for Alex Afonso as well as Lucas Mind, and P2 was, why am I forgetting? Not Devin Anthony. Not Ivan Petty. That's for sure. Regardless. But yes, if we can get any of the top 3 there into the pits, or into the green room, excuse me, as I'm trying to navigate my way. We're going to head back over into the booth as well. Welcome back, everybody, to the booth here. As we look to the green room, we do have the Lil Brazilian. All right, here we go. Lucas Mind.
What's up, guy?
I am doing amazing myself, Lucas, but congratulations on your podium, and I cannot be more thrilled to see you back in the Porsche Cup car this series. And, dude, what a drive, first off. And also, I think I'm going to hand this interview over to Dan.
Claro. Lucas, cara, parabéns aí pelo seu terceiro lugar. Como foi a sua sensação de ter o George Elmer atrás de você naquele último segundo?
Foi difícil, você viu que eu dei até uma erradinha ali, acho que foi faltando umas 3 voltas ali. Eu dei uma erradinha. Posso só agradecer a equipe e os patrocinadores aí primeiro? Só fazer a média? Vai. Queria agradecer a R2A2, a Start Packs, a Oswaldo Cruz Química e a Dalano que investem aí na gente. Então, brigadão aí pela força. Valeu mesmo. E, então, cara, foi muito difícil. Ele tava muito mais rápido que eu percebi isso no primeiro stint, que ele já saiu na frente, rasgando. E eu tomei eu acho que foi um undercut do Vladimir, é isso?
Do Vadik.
Isso, Vadik. Ele passou na frente, aí eu tentei ainda chegar perto do George Elmer, consegui passar ele bem na saída dos boxes, e aí ele foi fazendo pressão até o final, mas foi difícil, mas deu bom, deu tudo certo. P3 aí, representamos demais, GG.
Foi ótimo. Bela consistência, parabéns aí.
Valeu, mano, obrigado. Tamo junto. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations, Lucas.
Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Dan, do you want to give us a brief little summary of that one?
I said thank you, everybody. You want to do it?
Either way, no, go ahead, Lucas. Lucas, go ahead, please.
I said thank everybody for the support. I said that George Elmer was doing a very big pressure at the end. So I think 3 laps into the end, I made a mistake. And he get even closer to me. So it was very intense, this last laps. And I'm sorry for the guy that I touched in the first lap. The car got slippery, and I think I didn't hit that much, but still, I'm sorry.
And I think that was Vadik here, who is in chat. Vadik?
Oh, my bad, man. My
it's
bad,
all
Vadik.
good. Vadik, how's it going, Vadik? What a drive, first off. I got to give you credit where credit's due, man. You had a stellar performance that time around in the Porsche Cup car.
Yeah, I did practice for once. I did practice yesterday. I tried to dial in a race setup. I got my quali setup, but I didn't get the quali, obviously. And but yeah, I was just pushing really hard. I was just having fun with it.
Looked like you had a pretty good time, that's for sure, as you did end up in P2 there with a, like I say, I mean, a drive from the bottom of the grid all the way back up to P2. And it wasn't just the bottom of the grid. You were down, I think, 30 seconds at one point in time, and you managed to catch up to the back of Lucas at the very end, which is...
Oh, did I?
No, not Lucas. Did you catch up with Lucas? No, you caught up. You were very close to Afonso. You got second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you were close to Afonso. Yeah, you almost had Afonso by about, I think it was 8 seconds you were behind him at the very end.
It's like
6.
7.2.
Who's counting?
Something like that. 6 maybe. I don't know. It's 7. I thought it was 7. I don't know.
It was a good drive regardless. But yeah,
I made a few mistakes.
Thank you very much, Vadik, and thank you very much, Lucas. And yeah, once again, thank you guys. And have a great
I'm going
rest
to
of
the
your
GT3s
night.
now.
Yes, indeed. And that's what we are going to be doing as well.
GG, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good stream.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lucas.
Congratulations, guys.
We are going to be getting into the GT3 action here soon. We're actually at the end of free practice right now, heading into the qualifying, or at least getting ready to at the very least, where we'll have, like I say, the main event. This is what everyone's been looking forward to. As it stands, we have 28 drivers on the grid, but I think a few more to be joining. Some of the Porsche Cup members going to be trying to get over there. Vadik, with the hydrate, you're already way ahead of me there. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
I barely have this thing open, but I also want some water, so we're going to go with water. Time for pain, says Jaeger. That's not a good thought. Come on. I'm going to have a good time out there. Big thank you for the hydrates, everybody, and thank you for being here. That water bottle soaks my mustache every time, but that's beside nobody asked. Got the medics on standby. Oh no, Jaeger. The very optimistic look for this race. Jason Provolone, the stinky cheese man himself, in chat. You love to see it. We'll see if we see any of his fan base out there tonight. One bigly, Jacob Church. GG's, he says. What happened there in the...
I'm a fan of Provo myself.
I think who isn't a fan of Provolone? But what happened there, One bigly? Jacob Church in the race. Curious there. He did end up retiring to the pits. And was it a technical issue or was it a real-life issue or what was going on there? See the drivers here. They're going to be heading out onto track to begin. Some audio roll in there. Oh, right. Yeah, I disqualified. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Just wish that they had a variant 1 with no ABS. Yes, Vadik. Oh, man. Yes. Yes, yes.
The raw experience.
That,
The raw dogging.
that would be a dream to see. Went off track and couldn't see behind, so he was teleported. Oh. Huh. Didn't want to interfere. You know, fair enough. Fair enough. I understand. That's too bad. What do we head now, though? Into the... we stay in the booth for a little bit. It's qualifying. We got 20 minutes of qualifying. There's plenty to go. We have Viper GT3, otherwise known as Aaron Miller, over on Twitch. Welcome. Thank you very much for dropping your subscription as well. Tier 1 for 3 months total. Thank you, Aaron, for your continued support. And Wilson Fernandez supporting his fellow Pigeon Racing member. Well, I guess not fellow. Wilson Fernandez, I'm not sure. Are you still in Pigeon Racing? I know you were at one point. Supporting their Bruno Pio out on track in the Pigeon Racing. Of course, Wilson Fernandez in the Vacuum team. No livery there tonight for Bruno Pio, it looks like, unfortunately. I'm not seeing that lovely white Pigeon Racing. Let's see. Is he? Yeah, he is in the Pigeon Racing, so interesting. Nonetheless. And Burkowski isn't racing today. Okay, is Blue commentating? No, Blue is not commentating today. We have Daniel Verçosa joining me in the booth.
Hello.
We will head on down into the session. Bruno Pio actually begins his first lap. Why don't we hop on board here with the new McLaren 720S as he tackles the chicanes here at Misano, coming through Variante del Parco, very clean, heading towards Del Rio. Braking at that 50 border just before it, down into first gear. Going to be clipping that apex nicely onto the throttle. Could maybe use a little bit more track there to carry the speed. But still nice and tidy through. Good banker lap. He's going to be looking to set here. Heading now on to the back or front straight here. Heading down towards the hairpin, which heads to another hairpin. It's going to be a bit of an awkward hairpin after this, though. Every corner on this track is a little bit awkward, to be completely honest. Now, going to be looking for the change off to the side there. You can see at the end of the red curbing on the right is where you're going to be looking to brake-ish. It's a very awkward corner. Hard to brake while turning, and you pretty much have to in that corner. It's very hard to brake in a straight line. Now onto the back, not so straight, coming through Curvarone, which is going to be just flat out, of course. And now towards Del Carro. Down to third gear. Onto the throttle, looking for this braking marker off to the side, down to first. Great rotation there. Nice minimum speed being had there from Bruno Pio. Onto the throttle, heading towards the penultimate corner. Bit wide, had to get off the throttle there. That's going to cost him a couple tenths. Now through curve to Misano. The final corner, onto the throttle. Nice and early. Great exit onto the straight. It's going to be coming across the line. What will it be for Bruno Pio? It's going to be a 1:34.7. And a P3 for now. Ollie Raza, 1/10 off the pace here in the Ferrari 296. The Ferrari looking strong on its home soil here with Skylar Lovrink in the Bricks Racing in P1. Gabri, welcome, welcome. Dom is here in chat. Welcome, Dom. Hope you're having a lovely evening. A little bit of a hydrate, get some caffeine rolling for right now as I punch my microphone. Apologies. And Dom with another hydrate. Little did he know, I took a double hydrate anyways. Thank you. Is that Inline 6 Celia? What a cool name. Presumably a BMW driver, if I had to guess. And yeah, Wilson saying that... Oh, Celsia. Sorry, there's a C there. My apologies. A Toyota Celsia. Oh.
Wait, is it?
Is that... Celica. How are you correcting me on English, Dan? That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, I do love seeing Skylar Lovrink out there on track. Very talented driver. And lurking, but stuck in Australia. Also, thank you very much to Sakos FPS. Thank you for the follow as well. Anyone can correct me on English, yeah. You got a point, Eric. You got a point. Now, for anybody wanting to keep up with the live timings here, we do have a pit wall. You can find the link there to the pit wall, should be live, and I will pin it up at the top of the stream as well. Full onboard lap redeemed for Jace Wright. Yeah, we can get that here in the qualifying. Why not? Jace Wright currently, is he out on track? Let's see. Looks to be in the pits for right now as we have the... Wait, hold on. No, he should be out on track. P22? He's out on track. Yes, okay. Actually starting a lap right now. As he has just finished an invalid lap. Coming across the line now, you can see Jace Wright, the controller king, violently moving that steering wheel. Seesawing is a bit of an understatement. And I won't use the milking the cow analogy there because, well, that would rip the udder straight off if you were to do that. Controller king, though, not phased whatsoever. He's been phased by track limits, though, so far, Dan. That is one thing to keep an eye on here as he comes down the back straight.
You can see the insane control he has, even though he's on controller. That's... I can't even do that on with a wheel.
As it does, it looks very violent behind the steering wheel, but you're right. As you watch the car movement is not violent, which is really, it's very surprising. Of course, Jace Wright, he uses a maximum steering angle, which is not quite similar to what you would see on a wheel, which as a result, he has to use the throttle to steer the car way more than you or I would have to do with a racing wheel. And you can see him using that throttle there, trying to stay in it. And on it so early, using that traction control. He is on engine map 5, interestingly. Let's see, what does that mean?
No, that's the maximum engine brake option.
Oh!
Because what the new Huracan has is that the engine maps they don't differ when it comes to power, it's just engine braking.
Really? Fascinating. Okay.
So basically, if you use engine map 5, that's a maximum amount. You get, like, I would assume, with my barely any experience, that the car is going to stop earlier.
Makes sense, makes sense. And are we streaming rookies tomorrow, says Sako's FPS. Yes, of course we are. We will be streaming both the rookies and the GT4 Open.
P5 for Jace Wright, for now. You can see, although he's on a controller, he doesn't rub his tires as much.
Did a little bit there, got a little bit out of control, but yeah. As well, he does actually invalidate this lap, so P5 for right now. In fact, actually, it's going to be P5. He might have time to get another lap in. It's going to be close. Of course, the lap times, actually, most certainly will. Lap times are extremely short here at Misano. 1:33.4 is the quickest lap, which you compare that to some other tracks. That is blistering pace. And map 5, Vadik here saying that map 5 is aggressive engine braking because they couldn't make an engine braking option like an IRL. Wait, what? Hold on. Because engine... Wait. What do you mean? Wait, hold on. So if you took the Lambo and stashed it... That's a bit high IQ for me, Vadik.
No, it's just the engine map option in game exclusively for the Huracan doesn't do anything for the engine map, but instead it does the engine braking feature instead. So it's a scuffed way that Kuno's found to implement a feature that only the Huracan has.
Interesting. So they did the best they could, basically, with what they had implemented in real life. That makes sense. Fascinating as well. Just so cool to see. That's one thing I love about GT racing. One of my favorite things is that you get to see in what racing series besides, I mean, obviously no other because it's GT. You get to see, though, a Lamborghini Evo racing with an AMG GT3 car, as well as a Porsche 911. Those three cars you definitely would not see matched up if they were all straight out of the factory. But of course, due to all the BOP changes and regulations that we have in this to make that possible for all these cars to be equally quick in a well, not equally quick, but every one of them having different strengths and different weaknesses throughout the lap, but still being equal at the end of the day, I guess is the best way to put that. And map 5 actually has less fuel usage. Map 1 is for max power.
Really? There's
But you sacrifice engine braking. Interesting. So Jace Wright wanting the maximum engine braking being on a controller. I could see that being very useful. Ollie Raza comes across the line. He's going to be 1.3 tenths off. I think that was both their first laps. Actually, Ollie Raza completing 7 laps in the qualifying. Skylar only completing 4, and Ollie not quite there in terms of the pace. Bruno Pio, that lap that he said earlier, did manage to stick into the P3 slot very comfortably, but qualifying's not over yet. We now have all of the odd numbers coming out on track to begin their lap. In fact, Eric Gakassian in the AC/DC livery here. That's not going to be the first one out. It's actually going to be the number 75 beginning their lap of Postal Go Fast. Bit of oversteer and understeer. I will say that BMW, a car platform that there was a lot of understeer and an invalidation as well. BMW typically a car that is tricky to oversteer, but very easy to understeer. It's a very planted car. One of the best platforms to get to know if you are a newer driver trying to get into the game. It's very stable. It will not really treat you wrong. It's, you know, it's there for a nice, it likes long walks on the beach and long nights out, you know. It doesn't quite, it's not like a Lamborghini Evo where it wants to go to death metal concerts and, you know, bang your head into the wall. It's tame. It's calm, cool, collected. And Postal Go Fast, gonna be not quite going too fast this lap, in fact invalidating, but looking to improve here relatively soon. And no more gradient for the Trackalicious cars? That's a great question. We'll have to take a look here. I want to follow CJ Engine for the rest of his lap. As you can see, the BMW there of Postal getting out of the way, being very respectful. Number 55 here. What is he going to put in the CJ Engine works? The number 55 coming through. Curve to Misano, the final corner, to set his first lap. And it's invalid, actually. He invalidated in the penultimate corner. Wow. Let's take a look here. We obviously know Eric Gakassian is going to be in the AC/DC livery. This actually, a little bit of lore, made by Lindauer, somebody, in case I'm not sure you guys know who that is, but a very, very long-time member of the Trackalicious community, Stefan Lindauer, dabbles in the livery, the art of livery making every now and then. He used to be a driver, not so much anymore. And he, I think, ended up going off to college there, and that kind of, and also he got a job as well, and that kind of, you know, real life and stuff. But representing that one tonight is going to be Eric Gakassian. Nice little tribute there. Devin Anthony, welcome, welcome. Devin currently sitting in P14, the number 664 McLaren in the Rockefeller Racing. We'll see if he can hold that position as he has the like of Chris Rise here, which, wow, Dan, look at this livery.
Ooh.
Whoa!
It's a bit too far.
Whoa, why is this so quick? Okay.
Oh, maybe you scroll your wheel
Yeah,
too much?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that sometimes. Interesting. Is that the French flag on the front, or is that
Oh, the
maybe maybe just colors? I'm not sure.
I'm going to get some more lore on that.
I'm not sure why the French flag would be on a dragon livery, I'm going to be honest.
It could also be the Dutch flag.
The Dutch flag, you said? I don't... maybe. And it wouldn't be in that layout. But that's a bold statement. Jace was not expecting to make the race. And Rusty Plastic, unfortunately, joining the server late, which means they will be missing out on qualifying. I think that's Rally Duce. Unfortunate. But, hey, you made it. And can you not make it out for a lap? You're an odd plate. I'm not sure how that works. If you join late, you just miss it. That would make sense, to be honest, but I don't know. That'd be a question for Eric the Boss Kakas. You see there, Chris Rise does go ahead there of Ashley Forrester. Phil Cryotheus as well, the Australian driver, right? Yes. New Zealand has the Red Stars.
That's the way it is morning for him, if he's not living in the US.
It's morning tomorrow for him, right? It's
Yes.
not just morning, it's morning the next day and the next day, actually. It's they're technically 2 days ahead in terms of the numbers.
It is living in the future.
Living in the future and also driving upside down is Phil Cryotheus here, so managing to pull a P22. We'll see if he can do any better. But driving upside down must be quite the challenge. I'm not sure if there's any other Aussies out there in chat. I know that we have a few. Does end up coming across the line for P15. What a lap. From down under, coming up to the top.
Yeah, I've seen his pace in other series. He still has a lot to gain. Honestly, a top 10 is possible for Phil.
Quinn Smith here. He's managed to work his way up into the top 10. In fact, he's worked his way into the top 3. Currently in the Treso Attempto Racing, number 999. Gonna be seeing what he can make happen here. Currently in P3 as well. Now, he does actually invalidate this time around, unfortunately. But we will have to see him try to make an improvement in the future here. Ronaldo Velezquez will be currently in P23. I thought he was heading to the line, wrong part of the track. As well as Darren Thomas here in the Cale Yarborough Hardy's Nostalgia livery. Representing a NASCAR driver who was born in 1939, who I am way too young to know who it is, and I apologize. But an awesome livery there. Great tribute livery to Cale Yarborough and also Hardy's, with the lovely Trackalicious on the back. Once again, not in the Trackalicious colors. Eric will be losing his mind. But I love it. It looks so good. And Darren Thomas here. P15 as it stands, gaining on his Delta though. Currently a 135.3. Just got overtaken there by Ronaldo Velezquez, pushed down to P16. What is it going to be as we come to the line here? Darren Thomas, is he going to make any improvements? Not quite. Actually stays dead even with his Delta this time around.
Oh, he did. Did he?
Very close to it, within a couple hundredths. Very tight lap there. So call Darren Thomas anything you would like, but don't call him inconsistent. And Jace Wright trying to pay Vadik back, as Vadik redeemed an onboard lap for Jace. We're going to get an onboard lap for Vadik from Jace. Coming through the first chicane now onto the exit, heading towards the triple right-hander here. We saw some invalidations happen earlier on here. It's an easy corner to do so. Full lock there on the steering wheel. You can see him trying to negotiate that car through. He runs wide. Great line there onto the straight. This is going to carry quite a bit of speed, and he is going to gain a bit. He actually has a bit of a poorer exit, having to correct on the wheel there. Lost maybe about a quarter of a tenth, half a tenth. Which doesn't sound like much, but losing that in a corner, you know, every half a tenth, every tenth matters. As I like to say, tenths, they add up into seconds. Seconds, they add up into minutes, and minutes add up into hours. And in endurance racing, that is what matters. Down to first gear, getting on the throttle, heading on to the back, not so straight now. Checkered flag has fallen. Any driver to complete a lap at this stage who was previously on a lap will be able to do so, but no driver will be able to start one. Through the Curvarone, flat out, now heading towards Curva del Carro. Chucks it in, full volition there, you can tell. Full anger on Vadik, pushing wheels off of that for that Lamborghini and gaining time as well. Nice apex there, flat out through the penultimate corner, now through Curva Misano. Very twitchy, seesawing at the wheel. He gets a bit squirrely on exit, but it's going to be a great time here from Vadik as he comes across the line. It's going to be P5.
Ooh. Yeah, that's 4 tenths up his last lap.
$10 as he comes back in chat and says he could have done better. But that's beside the point. What an incredible lap. Dennis Chavez here is going to be one of the next to come across. Actually, will be the last to come across the line. In front of him, it will be Bruno Castellini.
Castalgini.
Say that one more time, please.
Castalgini. Castalgini.
Castellini?
Not even I can say it properly.
Castellini?
Castalgini.
Castellini?
Yes.
Okay.
It is probably Italian.
Yeah, that does sound Italian, I will
surprised.
say. Castellini?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
There you go.
And Bruno Castaldini comes across the line. Will be P11 for him, number 27 car. And what do we see on our screen there, Dan?
Look at those wets running, baby.
I hope everyone planned for this one and brought a wet setup, because it is actually raining quite hard. It's going to let up in the next 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute race, though, and it's a greasy track. We will see if we get any standing water here by the end. Oh, my, this is going to be an exciting one.
Oh, we can see the mandatory pit stop is going to be followed with a tire change. Maybe they're only going to pit on like 12 minutes, 15 minutes remaining.
And Gil Silver in there supporting Bruno Pio. Why don't we get in here, Dan, and meet our drivers as we have it here. Starting in P1, it is going to be the number 52 Bricks Racing of Skylar Lovering. Lined up as well on row 1. It's going to be Ali Raza in P2. The number 30 Glitch Motorsport Lamborghini Evo, or Ferrari 296, excuse me. Quinn Smith will be lined up in the Audi. In the Terzo Attempto Racing, number 999 here in P3. Next in, Bruno Pio lined up on row 2, the Brazilian driver in the McLaren. Next to him, Vadik Sitsiev with a great lap there at the very end in the Fuchsia Competition Esports Lamborghini Evo 2. In P5, CJ Engine in the AMG, 6th fastest, the Canadian driver with a great result. Anton Vaus will be in Anton Vaus from the CJ Engine Works will be in P7 next to Casey Schutte, who will be in the Reckless GT3, that tribute livery as well, by Lindauer, of course, the number 444 here in P8. Dennis Chavez will be in the BKB Racing in P9, and rounding out our top 10 here will be the Controller King of Jace Wright. Bruno Castaldini in P11. In the number 27 Ghost Team Renegades McLaren next to Christian Dubé in P12, the number 71 Porsche Motorsports. Jason Provolone, we got 2 Porsches next to each other. In fact, I think the only 2 Porsches on the grid. Jason Provolone, the Stinky Cheese Man himself, lined up in P13 next to Brendan Reed in P14. Ricky Scott, 15th fastest in the Knox Racing, number 84, next to Darren Thomas in the Cale Yarborough Hardy's Nostalgia, number 613. Ronaldo Velezquez in P17, the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club member in the Audi, next to Phil Cryotheus, the Aussie, in P18, the number 81 driver. Kevin Yu, 19th fastest in the number 95 McLaren, next to Stephen Poe in the Poe Marlboro Racing, who's already got the windshield wipers on. So does Professor Chronotis, who's in P21 here, next to Stephen Music in 22nd. Devin Anthony will be in 23rd, next to Marcelo Ramon, who will be 24th fastest in the WRT Audi. Chris Rise, 25th fastest, next to Dixon Hurst in P26. Eric Dabaskakasi in the Armenian in P27, next to Casey Jackman in 28th. Zane Blisket, 29th fastest, next to Postal Go Fast, who will be rounding out our top 30. Jäger Carew in 31st. And last but not least, it's going to be Rally Duce. Nailed that perfectly with the song. You love to see it. As we get into the outlap here, 2.6 miles, Dan. It's going to be quite a quick outlap. What are you looking forward to most here tonight?
Well, basically, pit strategies here. We'll see the rain closing in onto the 10-minute mark, 15-minute mark. We know that the rain will stop, but with the track dry up until the end of the race, the track will be greasy at least. And who knows, maybe changing tires, if they keep the wet until the end, they can scratch off 5 seconds. I'm not sure. But we'll see how the wet pace of these guys are going to hold up. We saw the dry pace.
Unfortunately.
Have they done any wet practice here?
I presume
we know
so.
This is a MotoGP track. This is a motorcycle track. And actually, it's a bit of a trivia piece to anyone here. It is Ducati's official test track. So it's flat, but it has a lot of curbs, and that's where they will spend the most when they're taking turns. They may spin out if they're not careful enough on the same spots that if you were here for the Porsche Cups. I mentioned turn 6 and turn 9 to 10.
And Vadik asks, is there a fixed refueling time? Well, he as a driver should probably know that. Yes, there is a fixed refueling time, 25 seconds refueling time, 1 mandatory stop, no tire change required. It'll be an additional 5 seconds if you do want to change those tires, which we might very well see, but if it does turn, or if it keeps wet, I highly doubt that. In fact, I highly doubt a tire change in general, 30 minutes on the clock. Nonetheless, with Ollie Raza in P2, we'll see if he tries maybe an alternate strategy. Also, we have Was in chat asking, where's your boy Mike Burkov? That's a great question, Was. Actually, I don't see Mike Burkov out on the grid tonight. It's the first time I think I've ever not seen Mike Burkov on the grid. It's a foreign sight. And Forzy having some connection issues. Hopefully those get worked out there. Ashley Forrester going to be starting in the pits to avoid any issues. Respectable, very respectable there. Hopefully they get solved, especially by the second race. They most certainly better be. As it stands, though, the drivers, they are going to be getting ready to go green here. We also have Chris Rise starting in the pits, interestingly. Drivers coming around the final corner now. 2x2, Noah's Ark formation. Skylar Lovering in pole position. Ollie Raza in second. Ollie Raza, it's going to have the outside line heading into the first chicane, but it does turn to the inside line very quickly. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Next to me is Daniel Verçosa, and we are green here at Misano, heading now down to the first chicane. It's going to be Ollie Raza with a pretty poor start, but he is going to get a great second phase. Quinn Smith pretty much left on a league of his own there, as the car behind did get a pretty bad start. Now, Skylar Lovering taking off into the lead pretty handedly there as well. Vadik Otsitsiev off the track there, onto the slip road with that battle with, I think that was Bruno Pio. Is going to rejoin ahead of Bruno Pio. Will he yield? That's the question. I'm not sure. We see a big move there behind from Jace Wright. Having a look there onto the 444 of Casey Schutte. Bit of bumping and banging early on. Maybe slight contact. Actually, I think he maybe stayed out of the side panel there. Going, though, 2x2 again as we go through. The Squadra course is going to be side by side. And that's a big hit on the wall there from the CJ Engine Works Mercedes there. We're going to continue on, though, as it goes. Side by side, the two teammates, the sister cars, are they going to battle? Are there team orders? It looks like there are no team orders here. We see Jace Wright on the inside, gaining onto Vadik. Is Vadik going to let that go?
Yeah, we see more carnage on turn 8. Some contacts between Go Fast and Bliskit.
You hate to see it. Hopefully everything is all good there. All drivers seem to be out on track and continuing, so we are green, green, green in that regard. Energy being thrown the way there of Forzy. They're going to need it, of course. Ollie Raza here up at the top is going to be challenging Skylar Lovrink at the end of lap 1. We are going to come to the end of the first. Actually, whoa, Skylar Lovrink takes his pit stop now.
That's big.
Fascinating. That's absolutely fascinating. I have no idea how that's going to work out for him. If the rain lets... Does he think it's ready for dries?
No. The track is greasy. Maybe he's cooking something here.
Oh my.
He's managed to hold off with his dry tires. He's going to have a lot of clean air.
The rain is lightening up. Is he going in for dry tires? Oh man, you're right, Dan. He might be cooking something up here. This could be a brilliant strategy from Skylar. Wow. Anton Vaus getting very close here. We're going to go 3 wide down the front straight. In fact, we're going to go 3 by 3 down the front straight. My goodness. Incredible action here. Big move there from the AMG, who's going to make it another 3 wide. Does end up making contact there with Darren Thomas and is going to wash him wide. I think that was maybe not quite on. We'll see, though, as we're going to continue this battle. And Christian Dubé here and Anton, I think, or that's Phil Cryotheus. Phil going to be taking the lead there for now. No, that's Anton Vaus in the lead there for now. Excuse me. Christian Dubé battling behind in that Porsche Motorsports as well. There are so many cars on this right now. I cannot tell who is who. Phil Cryotheus in the AMG, gaining in that slipstream. Trying to follow his fellow AMG brother through. Off the track goes Christian Dubé. That's going to be tough to hold that position. Behind, we see Jason Provolone leading these guys away in that Porsche car. It ain't easy being cheesy, you know it's not. And we see there Bruno make a nice move. We're 3 wide again coming through the back corner. Dan, this is insane.
I do have some information here, Mike. As you can see, the wet tires don't have the Pirelli logo on the side of the tires, but Skylar's tires do have. Those are the dry sets. Does have the dry tires on.
Are you serious? That's...
Yeah.
Wait, so hold on. Say that one more time, please, because that is such big information.
Yeah, wet tires do not have the Pirelli name on the side. And...
Oh, it's so hard to tell when they're moving, though. Or is that what that yellow band is?
Yes.
That's what the yellow... Okay.
Well, as far as I can see on my game.
It's hard to tell. Maybe my graphics aren't set. I need to figure that out. If that is true, I need to figure that out, because that is such big tech. Here we go, side by side again. Devin Anthony and Anton Vaus. Is it Was? Is that Was in chat? Or is that... No. That can't be. Was, are you Vaus? Or are you not here anymore? If you're not here anymore, that might be him. Just gotta put 2 and 2 together. It might be Was, actually. Driving the CJ engine works, of course. We see Darren Thomas just getting overtake there onto Christian Dubé as well. Big drift from the Porsche. Driving that thing like a go-kart.
Lively as always for a Porsche.
Dennis Chavez here trying to relinquish Casey Schute's P6. Breaking the curse. Unfortunately, not quite where he wants to be. Negative, you're just a spectator. All right. So it probably might be Vaus then. I don't know. Thank you for being here, Was. We see cars coming out of the pits very slowly as they wait. What the heck? What was that? Why? What? Guys. Yeager and Raleigh being very safe, you know, that's fine. If both, that's fine. Very safe, to be honest. Maybe a little too safe, but still. I get it. They were being back, but whew, I don't know what to think on that. I don't know, Dan, what do you think on that?
Very respectful as back markers, but they do have priority on that line.
Yeah, they do. You're absolutely right. And yeah, and it's also, you know, it's just, if you're willing to affect your own race that way, I don't know. I mean, that's tough. I really don't know how to feel about that. Because, as you said, it's a super safe maneuver, and they endangered nobody else, and it seemed as both of them were in agreement. If both Raleigh and Yeager are in a call together, that could be one thing. But maybe they did just agree on it. Or is it him and he just typed that on the straight? Yeah, Was is secretly Vaus, and he is just a god at driving. That is what I've come to learn, yes. Knotus in. No. Who's in? Casey's in. Casey Jackman is in. Side by side, Devin Anthony and Kevin Yu here. Kevin in front for now. Into the first chicane we go. You can see that rain is coming down a bit heavier. Where is Skylar Loverink right now? Where is Skylar Loverink?
I think Chris Rice is retired from the race. Go ahead and teleport back to the pits.
He's lapping relatively similar pace as the leaders. Ollie Raza 137.7 and Skylar 135.2 actually. Skylar, no, that's Casey. 137.5, excuse me, 137.5. On his own though, with clean air. So is Ollie Raza. Really curious to see how this works out. And Eric Gakassian as well has come into the pits. We're seeing a lot of the drivers serve their mandatory pit stop here. Now this is race 1 of 2 tonight, or 2 of 3, I guess, depending on how you look at it. We're going to have another 45-minute race after this.
Mike, can I request something to you?
Of course.
Could you spectate Bliskin and see if his tires have the yellow strip?
Let's take a look. Zane Bliskett currently in P21 here. We'll take a look here at these tires, and I think, Dan, I think you're right.
Nope. Those are the wet tires.
So Zane on wets, Skylar then on dries. Dan, that is some tech right there. Please change tower info. Yes, sir. Get the relatives up here. Also, great
do
livery
have
from
some
Bricks Racing.
A bit of experience on this because I'm usually the race engineer for my team endurance races, so that's some good info to have.
Dude, I am not forgetting that one. That is incredible tech right there. Now, do you have anything to tell? What is the other? There's one more thing. Oh, no, that's like really, dude, that's big tech. I'm not forgetting that one. That's awesome. Okay. Down the inside goes Ricky Scott, capitalizing on the mistake there of Castaldini. Was well behind Stephen Poe and Professor Chronotis going side by side. Stephen Poe making his own way. Not quite the optimal racing line, that's for sure. Gonna lose that position. I do want to take a look here at this Ghost Team Renegades livery as well, because this is a cool livery here. McLaren, a very tricky car to make a livery for. You can see a very Halloween spooky livery, I would say, maybe.
What does it say on the top? Is it 13 level? Oh, yeah.
Very cool team logo.
Hell yeah.
And you can see on the windshield of these cars, the rain is letting up. So those tires that Skylar Lovering switched over to are just going to be, well, not cooking. These tires that these drivers are on are going to be cooking. Skylar Lovering, he is lapping, actually quickest lap of the session in the previous lap, not last, but the previous one before that, I should say, as a 1:37.2. Now looking at the weather report again, it is only lightening up. Chronotis here battling with Marcelo Ramon. You can see Chronotis on the dry tires. I think Ramon is on the wets. Due to the new tech, that is such good tech. It's so obvious too, actually. Or is he on dries? I can't tell. Let's see. Marcelo Ramon looks to be on dries as well. Up at the front, Jace Wright with his sister car behind, trying to make way onto the podium, in fact, dispatching Bruno Pio. That will be next on the agenda here for the Fuchsia competition team. We've also had a disconnect from Stephen Poe, or no, in the pits from Stephen Poe, excuse me. These drivers are all just very close to each other.
I do have some info here. Skylar Lovering nearly set another fastest lap of the race, so maybe, just maybe, the dry tires are the way to go now. Because, you know, the track is greasy, not damp.
I think Raza, though, he started on dry tires, interestingly, so a bold strategy call potentially at the start has really helped him out here in the long run. I think we will see Ollie Raza retain the lead of this race come the pit stop phases, but it's going to be really hard to tell. Ollie Raza is going to be on older tires than... Well, not really, though, because he pit on the first lap. I don't know how this is going to work out, honestly. I'm just going to stop predicting this strategy, because I just don't know. You can see Chronotis there in the WRT Audi side by side. Also, Phil Cryotheus. What's happened here? Going back and seeing this, looks to be self-inflicted. Oh, that's a slippery curb right there.
Ooh.
Great job holding the brakes, though. And will rejoin the track safely as well. Yeah, very, very good rejoin, actually. Look at that. That is a textbook rejoin from Phil Cryotheus.
You see those dry tires already on, but as someone with a bit of experience, driving experience with the Merc, it's basically just a front engine Porsche when it comes to handling. It is very rear lively.
A lot of power from that big old V8 engine. And Voss, ambition greater than adhesion there. Yes, indeed. Jace Wright has not given up yet on the fight with Bruno Pio. What happened? I think Vadik pit. Vadik is into the pits. So good alternate strategy call here. We might see Jace come into the pits here soon as well.
Skylar setting fastest lap of the race with a 36.9. 136.9, correction.
Who's cooking? Jace Wright here. Are we going to see him come into the pits? I predict we will, as they've hit a back marker of Eric Gakasi, and there's almost no reason to... Well, okay, take that back. I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. Eric Gakassian moving out of the way there. He's already made his pit stop. You can see Jace Wright following Bruno through. Having to have a little bit of an agreement on maybe not overtaking each other. We're exiting the pit lane there. That's going to be Marcelo Ramon as a blue flag. Oh, Eric Gakassian closing in quite a bit there as Jace Wright not quite sure what to do. A little bit of indecision had there, almost cost both drivers quite a bit. And Eric Gakassian and Marcelo Ramon, I think that's actually for position as Eric now side by side with Ramon out of the pits. It's going to be fresher tires for Ramon, but they're going to be cold compared to Eric Gakassian, who's been out there for a lap and able to put the heat into them. And on this wet track, getting heat into the tires is such a challenge. Eric laid on the brakes. He's going to be trying to take the wet line. Now, that's the karting line. If you want to go for an overtake in the wet and karting, that is what you do. You go for the outside rather than the inside, so you can carry the speed onto the straight. And great move from Eric, but it's not done yet. Marcelo definitely going to be biting at his heels for any opportunity, any mistake that Eric makes. He's going to be there and letting him know that he's there. Whoa!
Wow. Bit of late break in there.
Cost him a couple tenths. We see drivers into the pits as well ahead. That is Bruno Pio into the pits, actually. So our P3 has decided to come in, handing that over to Jace Wright for now. Behind Jace Wright is going to be Darren Thomas. Darren with an incredible drive so far. Credit where credit's due. Really getting the hammer down, putting in the practice as of these past few weeks and gaining quite a bit. What has happened here with Bruno Castaldini? So sorry. Castaldini. That looked like he made about 3 or 4. Oh no, and he tagged the AMG. Oh, so unlucky. That was Cryotheus. Cryotheus getting off so light. That could have been race ending. But luckily, skillful driving there, able to keep the car under control after that tag. He did lose the position to Jason Provolone, but I don't think he's too bothered by that as he is alive. You can see that Ferrari squirming under braking. Battling with the battling with the 720S here. Chronotis all over. Now, Chronotis, Dan, is a driver that, as of late, he's one that's been around for probably every single Trackalicious race since the beginning of history. But as of late, I feel like he's really been putting in the practice and delivering much better results than we've seen him in the past. Of course, he's too busy a lot of the times to practice doing admin things. But Misano, he seems to be coming alive here tonight.
You know what? I know what it is. It's an auto league bot. He's doing all of the admin work for him. He has more time to practice, and now he's putting up a good show. ever since he got that bot up and running.
For anyone curious what we're talking about, Professor Cronotis, an absolute wizard when it comes to the Trackalicious community, has developed a bot that basically runs our leagues for us at this point, with a little bit of help, of course, which the man, just an absolute legend. Yeah, he's able to practice a little bit more now that he's got all these robots. He's, just says, oh, robot, go get me my water, please. Cronotis, absolute legend. And some stinky cheese in chat as well. For not Professor Cronotis, but for the man who is 2 positions in front and also on the Trackalicious Endurance team, Jason Provolone here, on the same team as Cronotis, actually. Nice job here. This should be it for Cronotis, but maybe not. The McLaren with a great exit speed and a great drive. Ooh! These two tight as can be, Dan. This is so exciting. As they stay side by side for the entirety of the straight. Cronotis stays ahead. Of course, this straight is about just under half a mile long, about 0.4 of a mile.
Devin playing it safe. Props to him.
Also, Ollie Raza has decided to come in for his pit stop at this point. Are we going to see Cronotis pit on the last lap, Dan?
I support that. Now, you know my strategies.
I think I also know Chrono's strategies by now. And I think we're going to see this man pit on the literal last lap. A bit further behind.
Oh,
Kevin, you here.
Carlo Loeffling just invalidated the fastest lap of the race of 136.4.
Wow. Skylar's flying right now. And actually behind Ollie Raza by 5 seconds. That undercut did not work. Ollie Raza able to hold on. Ashley Forrester here with a switchback defense. Is he able to hold on? No. CJ Engine gets the job done onto Ashley. See if he can have a fight back, though, as they come around onto the back straight with the slipstream, but a blue flag being waved right now for Ashley Forrester, and I think he will move off to the side and allow Ollie Raza to go through. We also have Kevin Yu, as well as Zane Bliskett. Both of these drivers have made their pit stop. Currently battle for P19. Also Bruno Castaldini behind. What is that noise? That noise... Chat, if anybody knows what that noise could possibly come from, please let me know, because I am actually at a loss. It isn't Discord, I don't think. That just blows my mind. I have no idea what makes that noise. Apologies, chat. Kevin Yu and Zane Bliskett still scrapping as well. Bruno Castaldini did make do with Steven Music there, up to P22. Professor Cronotis, P3 as it stands. That will change, of course, come the pit stop phase, with Devin Anthony close behind here. Devin Anthony also yet to pit. Ollie Raza 10 seconds behind, who has made their pit stop. Also, thank you very much to Multi-Opera Racing? Or
Multi-Tap Racing.
Oh, Multi-Tap Racing, excuse me, yes. Thank you. Multi-Tap Racing, thank you for the follow, as well as I missed this about 27 minutes ago, sorry. Heavy Metal 45 Cal. What a metal name. Would they follow?
Oh, they're both entering the pits. Oh,
I was wrong.
yeah. Three of them.
Chronotis gonna stay or come in before the last lap. Now that is a shocker.
Jace Wright, the only car out on track that hasn't bid yet.
He's going to be leading the race for now. That will, of course, be handed over soon. Whether he likes it or not, I think Ali Raza 43 seconds behind, so Jace in a fairly comfortable position for right now. Skylar Leverink has closed the gap down to 3.6 seconds and gaining 135.7 to 136.4 from Ali Raza. Eric Gakassian off the track. That should hand it right over there to Marcelo Ramon. And Eric, the number 88, or excuse me, Eric, number the 5 car with the number 444 on the top. He stole Casey Schuette's livery, everybody.
Wow.
Eric's a fraud.
Oh, I do have some intel here, Mike. If Chase Wright pits just for fuel, he still has a chance of taking P9.
Wow, that's such a far ways down. With a 45 second, he is no longer, he is in. Where did he go? He disconnect, where the heck did he go? Oh man, he just fell down to P20. Jeez.
Wait, still updating.
He down to P21. Wow, we're 3 wide though.
Hey,
what
look.
is this? Professor Chronotis, Jason Provolone, and Casey Schuette all 3 wide here with another car to boot. That's Devin Anthony. What is this little Noah's Ark scrap that we have here? 2x2 coming on to the back straight, but no, we're going to stay 2 wide as Devin Anthony is ahead for right now of... No, that is Devin Anthony behind Jason Provolone, excuse me, with Professor Chronotis ahead. Devin Anthony, is he going to make a send here at the end of the straight? No, he seems a bit too far back, but trying to set him up here. Can he set it up and then knock it down? Not quite yet. Windshield wipers are still on for Jason Provolone, even though there is no more rain. Using crucial electronic battery there from the Porsche. Windshield wipers, of course, make you less aerodynamic. No, not really. I just hate the look of windshield wipers that are on when they don't need to be, that's all. Raleigh Duche is in the pits. Or have they been in the pits? I think they've been in the pits. Wide goes Chrono, and inside goes Jason. Not going to happen though as the corner turns to the outside. Jason getting a bit oversteery on exit. In fact, on that curb, I think... No, it was not that curb. It was Zolder. My bad. No, it was Misano. It was the Porsche Cup. I've seen a Porsche Cup car go over those curbs and end up actually the driver broke their spine. That was, of course, in real life. So those curbs, very deadly if you do end up washing 2 wide onto them. But side by side goes Devin Anthony and Provolone.
There's a fight for P3 going on between Chase Wright and Flynn Smith.
Oh my, yes, side by
Chase
side.
Wright actually left the pits on P3.
Why did it show him in
Is this correct?
P4, P3? It said he was in... I mean, I think it is. It's where... It said he was in P20 at one point, though, didn't it? I'm not mistaken? Okay, that's so weird. I think that's right, though, because he was 45 seconds ahead of Ali Raza when he came into the pit, so coming out in P4 seems right to me. I thought 20 seemed a bit harsh. I think that was just a game being the game.
Bruno Pio looking for an outside overtake.
Jace Wright just leaving enough room, but we see there the Audi getting a bit out of shape. That's going to allow Jace Wright to move up the inside. Bruno Pio gets an absolute brick wall thrown in front of him. Bruno Pio inside now, and the overspeed. This should be every advantage here for the McLaren driver.
Oh.
Lovely side-by-side stuff here. Plenty of respect given from both drivers. Jace Wright does end up getting by, though. Bruno Pio behind for now. 1 minute, 15 seconds left to go of race 1 tonight. Also, can't look away from this either, but we have up at the front Skylar Lovering 4/10 away from Ali Raza. So we may be seeing a change in lead here. I know we said earlier the undercut didn't work. Or did it? Ali Raza on fresher tires, you'd think he'd have more grip, but it doesn't seem that way. But Raleigh there unfortunately lost force feedback. Hopefully we'd see you make it through race 2 and hope you get those technical issues sorted out, because nobody likes having a DSQ for technical. Very unfortunate.
Drive through for track limits for Provolone.
Oh, naughty Provolone. Bruno Pio still trying to get done what he couldn't earlier. Jace Wright defending like a absolute madman. And this is the final lap, actually. The leaders are going to be coming around the final corner right now. Ali Raza with one, if he had one more lap, that could have spelled disaster. Skylar Loverink not able to get the job done there. Maybe one more lap is all he needed, but that was not able to happen there tonight.
It was fastest lap after fastest lap, but Ali Raza still kept it. Maybe it was the strategy for the first half of the race, running the dry side when it was still raining. Maybe it wasn't the best call. Who knows?
Yeah, I will say the undercut does not seem to have worked there for Skylar Loverink. It was an ambitious strategy call. I got to give him credit there for trying it, as it did work in the end, almost, but not quite. Nice little celebration there from Jace Wright, or Vadika, I'm not sure. That was Jace, yep. We still have Anton Vaus yet to come across the line, though. Provolone picking up a drive-through on the final lap, too.
Such hard break.
Anton.
That's how Misano is.
Yes, indeed. And Anton to the line there in P12 with Casey Schutte in P13 behind. Darren Thomas with a great P9 as well. Great drive from a few drivers out there tonight. Dennis Chavez in P7. Phil Cryotheus with a lovely P10, just rounding that top 10 out. I think he'll be happy with that result. We still have to the line Kevin Yu battling with Zane Blisket and with Ronaldo Velezquez not too far behind. That is going to be the order we finish in there. And 30 seconds being handed to Jason Provolone, unfortunately, for not serving a drive-through penalty because he couldn't. Blue Wolf says, my tires were on fire.
Yeah, gotta give props to Blisket for coming up 12 places in this race.
Yeah, stellar performance, absolutely. Unfortunately, our biggest loser is CJ Engine, down 16 positions from P6. But Zane Blisket up 11. Excellent drive. And Jacob Church dropping the fire.
Green light. Go, go, go.
We are going to be green into the next qualifying session, where we'll have 1 minute dedicated to setup changes, and then we will see the evens come out or the odds. I'm not sure which. The drivers hopefully know. We'll pop back into the booth momentarily as we wait for the session to head over back to the actual qualifying session. But what a race that was, Dan. Just what an incredible race through and throughout.
Yeah, that rain, when I saw the cars line up in the grid and it started raining, I was like, oh my god, did anyone do any wet practice in this?
Turns out some drivers did. It's a double header? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Thought I said that like 5 times. Wasn't Bigley clearly not listening. No. Understandable. But yes, it will be a 45-minute race for race 2. So even longer than race 1. The drivers will have to contend with that. And Skylar Loverink, he wishes he had that extra 15 minutes in that race, because I think, without a doubt, Skylar Loverink would have ended up taking that position from Ali Raza. If he had even one more lap, I think that could have potentially done it. Ollie just wasn't up to the pace. And Snoopy felt pretty long to me. Dude, Snoopy, what a great drive. Darren, up to P9. That might have been one of your best results of the season. Or, well, obvious, it's best result of the season. Yeah, there we go. We can look at it that way. Best result of the season so far, as it is race 1, of course. Hello, Vadik. We will pop back into the session here in a little bit. We'll just wait for the qualifying to actually get underway here as the drivers are on their 2.6-mile out lap. And then we will see the actual action here coming up. I will say, though, with 32 drivers out on track, anything can happen here tonight. And I know the field is so tight, especially after seeing that the mid-pack very much, I think they fit it. I mean, there was a gap, I think, between P7 and P10 and P12 that was about 15 seconds, but beyond that, that was about the longest gap I think we've had. And Gabri agreeing there, that was an interesting race. I would say that was an amazing race. I gotta love the rain. The rain just adds so much to these sessions.
Well, I love some spice. And Ali Rosa is leading the quali pack.
Let's pop down and take a look at this lap. Dan, why don't you take us through this one?
I don't know. I don't have all the charisma you have, Mike.
Try it. Go on. You got it.
We see Ali Raza in the 296. Look, there's something with my end mic because I'm up here, and my ping is so high I cannot.
Okay, that's all good.
The breaking points.
Are you watching through
you know how Raza is. He needs no introductions. He's gonna smash it on that top 5 easily.
Yeah, Raza here. No slouch to sim racing, that's for sure. We'll watch the final few corners with him. And actually, I just realized the cameraman has had the wrong camera filter on the entire time. Ah, look at that. We actually have some bloom now. Or less bloom, rather, I should say. A proper amount of bloom. Vadik, I think we did catch that, unfortunately for you. And I put him on the spot? Yeah, I put him on the spot. What about it?
I'm an intern here. So
I wanted to see.
Maybe
it's a shot in the dark, you know? I made Lizzie do it, if it makes you feel any better. Skylar Loverink, pole position for now. Let's pull up the actual timing so you can see what sort of rapid pace these guys are setting the aliens out there, as one Bigley has posted.
Exactly 600ths separate Loverink and Ali Raza. That's insane.
And Snoopy reminding me that the race is actually at night, so I'm going to be needing to change my camera filter again. The guys in the truck have their work cut out for them tonight. A big thanks to Jeremy Cubbage for showing me that I can load my camera filters in a setting like that, and I just have to click a button and it changes, so I would never have got there if Jeremy Cubbage had never shown that to me. Vadik, your Porsche Cup livery is lovely. That light blue, I really like. It's very similar, actually, to Skylar Loverink's car, but a little bit more of an off blue, I think, in my opinion. But it has those very simple characteristics with the lovely logos as well. Yeah, I'm a fan myself. Ollie Raza.
Yeah, Vadik.
He's up to pole.
I'm going to request Vadik to educate Mike on the hard bass lore.
Yes, I'm unaware of that. Yes, I don't know about that. The blue and yellow, you use that livery. It's for your personal team. Is Squadra Corsa not your personal team? I always thought it was. Yeah, Dan called me out. You see, he put me on the spot. He's like, "Oh, you don't know what that gas what you said was?" What is it?
Yeah, hard bass. It's a music genre.
Hard bass? Is it hard bass or hard bass?
Yeah, hard bass.
Hard bass, okay.
Yeah, hard bass. Is it bass? Jesus.
I think it's
I've
bass.
been pronouncing it wrong for my entire life.
A bass is a fish, Dan. A bass is an
look.
instrument.
We're all learning something new.
You know, like I said, I don't fault you. I know it's English language sucks, so they're spelt the same. They just are said different. Oh,
This is
okay.
what happens when there are no Portuguese in the chat.
What? We gotta speak English.
Yes, that's tough for me.
Do we have any Portuguese drivers out there tonight? Let's take a look here. And
We do have Bruno Pio as a Brazilian.
Oh, you're right. Of course,
And
Ronaldo is.
I always get it wrong.
Marcelo, of course. Marcelo Ramon.
Casaldini is Brazilian.
Yep. Okay, so we have our Brazilians out there, Dan.
Oh, Marcelo Ramon made it. He just signed up for the series. That's amazing.
Yeah, you think he was out there last race? That's right. He did sign up in the P Cup. Actually, he signed up.
Yeah, during the pickup.
Oh, and so the hard base is also on Vidic's Squadra Corsa, which the Squadra Corsa is for. Dude, we're getting so much lore here.
Oh man, insane trackless storytelling. Only race. We need a Bible on it. You know.
The Trackalicious Bible. Yes. Somebody please make that.
Yeah, well, you know, we gotta start it off with jets flying private liveries.
Really?
Those are ace.
Gabri, the game doesn't have the Ecuadorian flag?
It doesn't?
That's crazy. The Ecuadorian flag is just the Colombian flag with some spice on it. So that's shocking. You see the HBS logos. Well, let's take a look here. Look at Jace Wright, who should be out there on track right now. Where is Jace? Currently sitting in P26 without a time on the
They
board.
both have the same liveries?
Relatively similar liveries.
Oh.
Jace doesn't have it. Okay, well then I won't look at. We'll still look at Jace's car, but we'll look at your car when you're out there, Vidic. You're not gonna be able to see it. Sorry. The Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competition, or just the Fuchsia competition, I guess, in this one, not the Squadra Corsa Fuchsia. The Fireside Carpentry. And the Farnsworth Financial Service Inc. on the side as well. What does that say? Yakin Sports TV. Yes, some spice, yes. I like to be a little silly around here, Gabri. I don't mean any offense or anything, but yeah, that is, of course, as I try to speak Italian, you know, you gotta put the spaghetti and meatballs on the things. It's just, you know, little quirks. Rip line on the rear of Jake Wells' car? Wait. There's no... Wait, rip line on the end of the car is Jake... Wait, what? Hold on. Rip line on the rear...
Oh no, on Jace Wright's car.
Really? Is... Wait, what? Rip line?
Yeah, on the bumper on the side.
Oh. Wells Enterprise. Also, to handle your confusion, yes, you and Duce are in a call. That, okay, I figured as much because I didn't think there was any way you two could coordinate that without actually talking. So, very safe call from you guys. I respect that. It was just, in the moment, it was so hard to digest because, like, in real-life motorsports, you would never see that. It was too long a line of cars. Yeah, I understand, yeah. Oh, Jake, Jace coming to an end of his qualifying there. Yeah, checkered flag is fallen. We're already 9 minutes, 32 seconds in. Wow. 10 minutes has flown by here. And Wells Enterprise is Jake's brother. Ripline is Jake's. Seriously? Now I have more knowledge to flex on Jake Wells with. I can be like, hey, Jake, I know your brother's company and I don't care about yours. No, I'm just kidding, Jake. I love you if you're watching.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah, Jake Wells, please sponsor us. No. Of course, Jake Wells.
Speaking of sponsor,
yeah, what's up?
Does everyone know we have a Patreon?
You know, Dan, I don't think I've mentioned that in a while, but yes, we do in fact have a Patreon, and a massive thank you to all the members that have participated. All their names are up on screen right now. You can see Chris Lorande, Jeff Dallas, Adam King, Stefano Rinaldi, Jaeger Karu, Potts Weaver, Casey Schutte, Ricardo Rivera, Reggie King, Mike Burkhoff, Randy Gross, Jacob Church, Darren Thomas, Scott Sullivan, Justin Beachley, and last but not least, Patty Doring. So big thank you to all of those guys for supporting us over on Patreon. Also, thank you to all of our Twitch subscribers and all of our followers as well. You guys make what we do here possible. And Jake got a new rig? No, I have not seen it yet. And also, thank you, Dan, for posting that link as well, our ! Patreon, where you can find that link. But excuse me, as we have it though, the drivers of the odd variety, not just because they're odd in general, they're odd plates is what it is. They're going to be out on track. And Phil Cryotheus here, struggling behind the wheel of that AMG, you can see. Bit of an oversteer moment for sure. Livery check? We'll get that. Don't worry. We'll get you a livery check there. I think we did see it though, Forzy. I'm pretty sure. Phil Cryotheus here, looking to set his first time on the board. This is going to be the first odd number lap, actually. The most eager to come out on track as he approaches the final corner now. Curva Misano. Comes around, is going to be a little bit deep, but keeps it all between the white lines. Comes across the line. It's going to be a 136.0, excuse me. And that will actually be almost the bottom of the time charts. P14 for right now. And Ashley, looks like the livery seems to be working. Woo boy, tires were blazing hot by the end of the race. Glad it ended when it did, or Thomas would have passed me, says Ricky Scott there in chat. So relieved, that's another driver relieved that the race was only 30 minutes. You were not the only one there, Ricky, that was coming down to last lap pressure, so. Excellent job there. And as I said before, excellent job to Darren Thomas for putting in a stellar result this time around. And he's looking to do it again, to be honest. Currently in P13 right now, improving his times. You can tell he's been putting in that practice. And Blue Wolf, if you want to message me on Discord, and we can work that out sometime during the week, we can figure that out for sure. No, definitely, maybe just uploaded it incorrectly. I do download deliveries the same way every week. And Alex Afonso in chat, welcome.
Oh, come on, Alex. We missed you on the podium interview.
That is true, yeah. And Dan was right, it's 2:48 a.m. My goodness. Okay, so he is Portuguese, and he is driving from Portugal. And what a, man, I always like to say, you guys are nuts. You are crazy in the coconut for trying to attempt that.
That is devotion, man. It's best. Well, you know what, Mike? I am suffering the consequences of the hydrate comment right now.
You know, Dan, if you need to take a quick little break to the Schumacher's room, I
I
totally
will do
understand. That is
Be right back.
that is all good. CJ Engine here is going to be pushing to the limit there with that CJ Engine Works AMG. You can see him squirming all over the road as Dan was squirming in his chair. Now going to be coming to the back hairpin. Andy Forzi, it's 248. Man, once again, if anyone knows who the Avalanches are, that song definitely represents you guys. That boy needs therapy. Yikes, starting far back. Should have practiced more, but you just got back from Finger Lakes. Awesome. Well, I hope you had a great time out there. You doing some fishing? Or just doing some family time relaxing? CJ Engine actually invalidates that lap this time around. Quinn Smith is going to be coming to the line to start another lap here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. He should get 2 more laps out. Maybe. Maybe. It's going to be close. Ooh, an anniversary getaway, so no kids. Lovely. Quinn Smith up on his Delta for right now. So is CJ Engine. Both of these drivers gaining quite a bit here on the initial phase of this lap. Of course, the track is getting to that optimum phase of being rubbered in, where these drivers have been lapping for the past 20 minutes now. Every single driver that comes by lays a little bit more rubber on the road, which allows those tires to grip just that slight bit more every time. Oh no, Rick. Oh, that sounds like a good night, that's for sure. Oh, man. Now, I hope you had an amazing time there, and also happy anniversary. Or happy belated anniversary to you, both you and your wife. Eric Gakasian here in the Reckless GT3 livery, stolen from Casey Schutte. Of course, this livery was made specially for Casey Schutte by Stefan Lindauer. He put his hard blood, sweat, and tears into that livery, did Stefan Lindauer. And Eric Gakasian comes in and steals it away from Casey. And then has an error and messes up his lap. Eric Gakasian, currently P23, needs to get that hammer down as he has a very awkward engagement there with the fellow McLaren. Ricky Scott looking forward to the race. There we go. Climbing those positions. Starting in P21 right now. Let's see if that changes. Phil Cryotheus actually just invalidates as I switched him there. A nice livery. Yes, nice livery indeed. We'll check it out later on Casey Schutte, the man who actually the livery was made for. No, I'm obviously kidding. I've Eric the Boss Gakasi, and I just like, you know, making a little bit of fun of him for anyone who is thinking that I'm being a jerk right now. Where is Casey at anyways? Down in P18, Casey, with an abysmal qualifying result for his standards. Is showing as well the testament of this field. A lot of these drivers, they're very quick. Some of these drivers have been with the Trackalicious community for some time now, and it's been really interesting to see just how much they've improved over the course of these past few seasons. CJ Engine, one of those drivers as well that's improved massively from the start, from where he was when he first joined Trackalicious, and is up there in the names, right behind Quinn Smith, which that is a name that if you were right behind, well, I would not be disappointed with my results whatsoever. Quinn Smith, a previous SRO winner. SRO finisher. He finished, I think, in the top 15 of an SRO race last year, actually. So Quinn Smith, a very quick boy. Maybe a little bit more out of practice lately than he has been in the past, but nonetheless, he is still absolutely rapid. And he is going to be showing this here tonight. He's 6/10 down off of pole position. I was going to say he might be able to take it. That is not going to help him running wide. I'm surprised he kept it valid there, but the game seeming to think it is. So he's going to carry on here. The checkered flag has fallen. Any driver to complete a lap at this time will no longer be able to start one, but anyone previously on one will be able to finish. We'll ride along with Quinn Smith here. Traction control on 2 and ABS on 3 there. Engine map 1 going for full power in that Audi. Can see him being very conservative through these past final few quarters. In fact, it's really rewarded him too. He's gained a 10th. Oh, but that is going to be the end of the lap there. Yes, indeed. Way too wide off the throttle too early. Or on the throttle too early, excuse me. And that, as a result, sends him off into no man's land. P6 it is going to be for Quinn. Bruno Pio sneaking in there at the very end. I actually missed that impressively. What a result. Pigeon Racing driver looking awfully strong here at the start. As we have it though, 32 drivers on track. And we got to get in here and meet every single one of them here. Excuse me. And as we have it, starting in P1 once again. So for both races in a row. And Quinn has been sweating it out in Group B Rally. So that is okay. And he definitely hasn't crashed at all this week. Okay, Cody Blanton, I feel like maybe throwing a little bit of shade towards to Quinn Smith there. And here we go. Why don't we get in and meet our drivers here. Starting in P1, the number 52 Bricks Racing of Skylar Loverink as well on the front row. Again, it is going to be Ollie Raza. Third place belongs to Anton Vaus here in the number 99 CJ Engine Works car with Vadik Konstantiev in P4, the number 63 Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competition car. Bruno Pio, 5th fastest next to Quinn Smith, who is going to be rounding out in 6th there, topping out our row 3 with CJ Engine in the CJ Engine Works AMG as well in P7. Dennis Chavez in P8 there in the McLaren Evo 2, the second of the McLarens on the grid. Christian Dubé in P9 in the Porsche. Ronaldo Velazquez, 10th fastest to round out our top 10 in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club team. Darren Thomas in P11 in the Cale Yarborough Hardy's nostalgia livery there. The Aston Martin, of course, on the grid. In fact, I think the lone Aston Martin here tonight. Bruno Castaldini in P12, the Brazilian driver in the number 27 McLaren, next to Jace Wright in the Squadra Corsa Fuchsia competition as well. The number 24 car. Casey Jackman, 14th fastest in the number 808, next to Kevin Yu in P15. Marcelo Ramon in P16 himself, number 88 car. Phil Cryotheus, the Australian driver, in P17. The number 81 car, next to Casey Schutte, who's all the way down in P18, the number 444 car. Professor Knonis, 19th fastest in the number 42, next to Devin Anthony, rounding out our top 20, the 664. Stephen Poe, 21st fastest, next to Ricky Scott, who will be in 22nd. And behind him, of course, we have Steven Music in 23rd. Eric Kakassian in the stolen livery there in the Lamborghini Evo 2, and at P24 for him, next to Dixon Hurst in a P25. Ashley Forrester going to be in the 13th row there, 26th position in the McLaren, next to Zane Blisket in P27 in the Mad Fox Racing number 64. Raleigh Duce in the RDA Performance Lamborghini Evo 2 will be in P28 next to Postal Go Fast, who will be in 29th, the number 74 Team WRT Audi, Team WRT BMW. Chris Rye is going to be in P30 next to Jason Provolone. It ain't easy being cheesy. No, it most certainly ain't. He's way far down the grid here today. And last but not least, Jaeger Karu in the Mad Fox Racing. And yes, Snoopy, you are in fact the fastest Aston Martin on the grid tonight. I know you're going to be driving right now, but you can at least go into the race knowing that no matter where you finish, you will be the best finishing Aston Martin. And Wilson Fernandez there asking, and Dan answering already. 45-minute mandatory pit stops and 25 seconds fixed, question mark? Yes, indeed. You nailed that right on the head. Exactly that, in fact. And Dan, now the question I have for you here. Are we going to see Skylar try to take maybe a little bit better of a strategy this time around, or better is a subjective word, but maybe try to take something a little bit different that he had last time around and go for that race win this time?
Yeah, we say that it's going to be a dry race, at least the first 30 minutes. So all this practice has built up with dry tires is going to be key. However, it is 8 p.m. in game, of course, and we see a 22 degrees Celsius. It may be a cold race. It may be difficult to heat up the tires. So I hope Skylar has that figured out. You know his skill level. Probably does.
I would say almost certainly. Skylar Levering, no slouch whatsoever behind the wheel of that Bricks Racing. Of course, we just recently saw him in the spouse swap, or I guess family swap race. We've changed the name, I keep forgetting that. The family swap race he was just recently participating in. Both him and his mom participated. So Patty Levering taking the wheel of the Bricks Racing 296 and unfortunately costing Skylar Levering maybe a couple bucks there in terms of repairs for that Ferrari. But, you know, it's all right. You let your mom drive the car. That's the spirit. And of course, also, Ali Raza, who was in P2, also participating in that race, drove with his sister, Fatima, and ended up having quite the thriller of a race, I would say. Maybe not the greatest result, but they had a lot of fun, and that's all that matters. Though, that is out the window. That's out in the past. We're not thinking about that right now. What we are thinking about is these drivers 2x2 Noah's Ark formation coming around the final corner here. It's Skylar Levering on pole, Ali Raza in second. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me is Daniel Verçosa as we get ready to go green here at Misano, heading down into the first chicane. It's very tight for the Lamborghini behind. You can see him out of position there. Going for the attack and drive through penalty for Devin Anthony at the start. Good start there for the Bricks Racing, heading off immediately into P1, but Ali Raza late on the brakes is going to challenge back now. Not going to happen though as the quarter turns back to the inside for him, covered off there by the Bricks Racing. Behind 2x2 as we go through the first chicane. Nice driving from everybody to keep it clean so far. 3 wide as well behind from the Lamborghini of Jace Wright as well, coming out into the Constantina. This is where everything can be made or break. Wow, contact there's Darren Thomas's round, getting bumped and banged from everybody. He got a little bit of contact from every person, everyone having to scatter around, and Dan, not quite as clean as the first lap last time around, that's for sure.
Lots of cars off, still going, see a lot of off tracks. You see Darren Thomas all the way onto the back, some car rejoining. Who is that? Is that Blisket?
Yeah, Blisket, I'm not sure.
Was.
We have some massive gains here on the first lap. Chris Rise is already up 10 positions. He's now down all the positions as he's been torpedoed from a McLaren out of a different country. Wow, that happened extremely quick. Exclamation mark, curse on that one. Wow, just catching the end of that huge contact and leaving multiple drivers stranded as a result as well. That definitely misjudged from the McLaren of, who was that? I'm not even sure. Was that Ashley? That may have been Ashley Forrester. Oh no, if that was Ashley, he is going to be kicking himself for that one, unfortunately. I think it was too. Oh, and lots of drivers coming in for, oh! Did you see what I just saw there? Did Kevin, you just speed into the pits? He very well may have. We might see a drive-through penalty picked up, but we're side by side. This is insane. I forgot there's a race going on elsewhere. That's as we have Steven Music here going side by side with Cryotheus as well as Ricky Scott. Dan, anywhere you look here, there's action.
Yeah, we'll see 4 cars in the pits and cars all over. It's mayhem.
And a few hydrates there being redeemed from Sharpenberry. We'll get to those in a minute. I don't got time for those right now, as Jace Wright and Christian Dubé are going at it right now as they come onto the back straight now for the second time of this race. You can see Dennis Chavez in the slipstream there of CJ Engine. Can he get anything done as we approach the Curva del Carro? It's a very tricky overtake if you can manage to make it happen. You need some confidence, that's for sure, and typically you need the driver ahead to make a mistake. Can be done though. The This track, very difficult to overtake. Lots of fast-flowing chicanes. Not too many opportunities to get it. You see Dennis Chavez there running off the track. That probably is going to be a warning picked up already. It's actually every single one of those drivers had an invalid lap that time around. As we hydrate up, Christian Dubé here, Chase Wright, and Ronaldo Velázquez joining the party as well. Christian Dubé, big send now onto the inside there of the twisty right-hander, the triple right-hander, and you can see Jace Wright getting involved as well, and he is going to make it stick, it looks like, carrying the speed on the outside. Terrible line being taken for Dennis Chavez. I think that was all good there. Ronaldo here onto the outside.
Car rejoining on turn 2.
Where at? Lovely side-by-side action here from Ronaldo and Dennis. Oh, big moment there is Ronaldo. Gonna need a new change of pants come the pit stop phase after that one. This is going to remain side-by-side. Dennis Chavez should have a much better exit as a result of that wobble from the Audi, but the Audi's drive, the punch that thing has when you get on the throttle is so impressive. Dennis, though, able to eke out that straight-line speed at the end of the day. Still no change up at the front yet between Ollie Raza and Skyler, though these two really could change at any moment. I don't think Ollie Raza is going to be going for the attack at this stage of the race. I think they're just going to be work together to pull away from the rest of this pack, and then they can eventually deal with each other later. Don't lose time squabbling. Chris Rise will be in to repair that damage. And Ricky Scott here. He's on a recovery drive, not happy with his qualifying, looking to gain a position here on Steven Music. He's up 4 positions from where he started so far in the Nause Racing. Why don't we pop on board? Okay, well, never mind. We're going to pop off board as he's already going to be going for the mover. No, we'll stick with him. Here we go. Is the move going to be on? Under braking now. Ricky Scott on the inside. This should be done and dusted. We see as well the 2 cars behind getting involved. That's Jason Provolone and Stephen Poe. Jason Provolone, he's up 11 positions from where he started, and somehow Ricky Scott didn't get that overtake done. Oh, well, okay. Never mind. Steven Music plays himself on that one and runs off the track. Also, Sharpenberry, welcome. Beachley, welcome. And see Steven Music maybe struggling behind. He is just trying to stick with him. I think just getting the marbles off of his tires after washing wide there is why he fell back so much. He seems to be gaining back the time there onto Jason Provolone. A bit further up, we have Casey Jackman as well as Ronaldo Velázquez here. Casey in the AGS events. Lamborghini Evo 2, of course, here. The 808. Ronaldo a bit deep. And that will allow at least a look from Casey, but he is too far back to make anything happen there, that's for sure. You know, Dan, one thing I am noticing here, Vadik Odstitsev, he's in P3 right now, and he's holding that 3.1 second gap to Ollie Raza quite well. He actually was holding a 2.1 second. I think he just had an error, right as I mentioned his name, unfortunately. But staying relatively consistent, could even be in the tangle here with these guys if they don't pull away.
Yeah, but it was sadly a lot of mishaps today, including the Porsche Cup. But, you know, when there's nothing holding him back, he's just keeping that pace up. He's destined to be on the podium.
Now, Vadik, he's a driver, and I really do, I hope Vadik watches this, but Vadik, he's a driver that really gets affected by the little things. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, because he's somebody who really wants to improve himself in the maximum way, but sometimes that can be detrimental. He's very hard on himself. When he makes a mistake, he's very, very hard on himself, and it's just a mentality. I'm victim of that mentality myself, and it really doesn't help you gain pace, and it doesn't help you with your consistency. So Vadik, I really hope he's got his head down at this point and just is driving and cruising, because I know he has the pace, I know he has the talent. Sometimes he just gets in his own head, and that is what can force him into a little bit of a mistake. It's himself sometimes, and that is, I think he is his own worst enemy. Vadik, a very rapid driver, and it's just that little bit of consistency he needs to work on to be up there with the likes of Ollie Raza consistently, and Skylar Lovrington as well. I predict to see him battling by the end of this season up there, honestly.
Couldn't have said any better. But he's also involved in a few third-party incidents, you know. So it's not something to be blaming himself when he had no jurisdiction about it.
Yeah, it's also, like I say, it's a note to everybody in there, is review your incidents, and, you know, even if it is your fault, take it with a grain of salt, take it as a learning experience, and just don't do it again. You know, getting mad at yourself, it doesn't help. It just makes things worse, unfortunately. You can have a little bit of a downward spiral, and as a result, you might even stop driving, and that is what I never would want to see, you know, somebody is... Yeah, but nonetheless, moving on, Quinn Smith here and Anton Vaus, they're going to be battling for... eventually, maybe a podium position, as actually 1.3 seconds up the road is Vadik Stitsiev with Quinn Smith battling here at Anton. That may make that gap extend a little bit. I think Vadik is going to be breathing a sigh of relief if Quinn can make some moves happen here. But also, if Quinn gets by, I predict he will be on the rear bumper of Vadik really quickly.
Did you just see Vadik flashing Ollie Raza? Or, it's a back marker. My bad.
No worries.
I was questioning myself, like, what is going on?
He thinks Ollie Raza is too slow, you know? I'm a victim of that.
Yeah, no, Ollie would never just yield that way. Also, Mike, speaking of improvement, self-improvement, what do we have tomorrow?
What do we have tomorrow, you ask? Well, in fact, tomorrow we have a series that if you are looking to improve, maybe you're a little bit newer to the game, we have a rookie league. In fact, you can pop up the calendar here, you can take a look at that, and we'll get back into the action relatively quick, but you can see that we have a rookie league that we offer on Mondays, also a GT4 Open Series that is going to be for our patrons and supporters, but that is, of course, going to be round one at Silverstone, my personal favorite track. And like I say, if you are newer to sim racing, maybe debating getting behind the wheel, even if you're a controller driver, looking to make some gains in league racing and have a nice community to improve with and learn with, which is what we are all about here at Trackalicious, you can check out the GT4 Rookie Series that is going to be over on SimGrid. You can find the SimGrid. There we go. How did I mistype it? I didn't. It was just slow. Right. It was just slow. It's all good. And you can find the link there. That also, you can find our M2 Reverse Grid Championship, which that one is super fun, and definitely would recommend checking that out. It's on Thursdays. Also, our GT3 Championship, which you're watching right now, supported by our Porsche Cup Series. We need drivers for the Porsche Cup Series, everybody. If you want to drive a super fun flat six car with a bunch of drivers out there on Paul Ricard next week, make sure you guys sign up for that. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with the GT3 Cup immediately after that. Also, last but not least, before we get back into the action, we have our mixed class enduro race, GT3s and GT4s at Watkins Glen, November 11th, 6 hours, starting at 11:30 Eastern Time. Make sure you guys sign up for that. And yes, let's go Patreon. Yes, indeed, here is our Patreon supporters. Before we get back in with just one little reminder, thank you to all of our members here. You can see all of the names of them on, all the names of our amazing supporters currently. And if you guys do support, of course, we'll be adding the name to this and have the membership rewards that they offer on Patreon as well. Big thank you to everyone for participating as well in the stream and just being here and hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys beyond words, so thank you so much. Now back to the action.
I see. Back to the action. I see Quinn Smith and Bruno Pio in a back marker sandwich right now. Oh, he's being pitted. No.
Oh, Bruno.
It's a tough fight.
He does get through with no contact at least, and that is going to be Cryotheus. Actually, Kevin, you and Cryotheus, this is for position, actually.
Yeah, exactly. They cannot yield at all. Those are two separate fights for position.
And Stroker 63, nightmare. Oh, no, you say that 3 times and it happens. No, Stroker, what have you done?
Oh my god.
I cannot believe that just happened.
You know what, Mike? You know exactly who that is. That is Ricardo Sapien coming to haunt us all.
What are the chances, he says in line? I have no idea. Also, thank you very much. Ooh, some side-by-side action we're seeing here from Ricky Scott and Steven Music as we thank the followers. Dead Pixel, thank you very much for the follow, as well as Leo Driver 714, thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, what are the chances? I don't know. Astronomical, to be completely honest. Like, that is... Nice move from Steven Music, and also great defense from Ricky Scott. He's going to have the unfavorable line, though, and is going to have to concede that. Oh, no, that's why you don't yield on the racing line. Ricky Scott misjudges his braking zone and gives Steven Music a tap, and he knew he was at fault, so you could see him lift off the throttle there and yield, but Darren Thomas didn't expect that. I don't blame Darren at all for that contact. He was just driving and did not expect that to happen, so... If you are going to let somebody by, when you hit someone, don't just lift off. Stick with it and then let them by later. Just a general rule of safety. It's so hard to make that decision in the moment, by the way. That's like, what I'm saying is literally you have to make that decision within milliseconds in order to not have an incident, but that's an understandable one. Luckily for Darren, I mean, not unluckily for Darren, he isn't in a battle right now, but that is going to really hurt him catching up to... But the two post, actually Kevin Yu is going to be for position up ahead 6 seconds, so he would have been catching him relatively quick there. Darren, not with the greatest race this time around, though he has made his pit stop already, and a lot of these drivers have not. Follow someone else, I want to see if they die. I won't repeat myself, that's the thing. I still can't believe that. And that was our 86th curse that we've had here at Trackalicious as well. Side by side, Bruno Pio and Quinn Smith. Bruno ahead for now. Quinn Smith going to be looking to take that advantage back, though. He actually goes a little bit off the line here to try to go for the switchback. Is he going to carry the speed into the corner? He has the inside line. Lovely send from Quinn Smith. Wow. Let's watch that one again. From on board here, you can see Quinn Smith calculating this. He had already picked his line here. Bruno Pio leaves the door open. He didn't want to leave the door open, but he did. And Quinn says, thank you very much, Bruno. I'm going to take that position, and I'm going to run away with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect on track, especially when the back markers showed up a few laps ago. They have been fighting this all out for probably since the start of the race.
Bruno, though, he's not done yet. I thought Quinn Smith would have the pace to walk away, to be completely honest. I was wrong. Quinn Smith, he is now under pressure from Bruno Pio behind, the Brazilian driver. Going to be looking to overtake the American here soon. We'll tune in with that a little bit later as we have Dixon Hurst and Zane Bliskett. This is a battle for P17.
We see a yellow flag from Eric. Go Caution to Boston.
All right, let's give him his mandatory screen time, shall we? Bam! And nice hit on the barrier and a rear end hit to boot. And that is Eric Gagosian's contractually obliged mandatory screen time. Thank you very much. Bruno Pio still battling with Quinn. And if you aren't racing with, or if you aren't racing with Tracky, if you haven't been cursed by the commentators, that's a true statement right there. And Sean Daniels says death. Unfortunately, that's a fairly decent description of this race so far. And Eric Gakassian struggling after that contact with the barrier. The Armenian driver going to have to bring that back to the pits and take his second... Actually, no, this is his first stop of the night. He is in the second to last for the non-stoppers, but he is going to be in at quite a high speed now. That's because the pit lane is longer than I always remember here. Of course, you want to minimize your time in the pits here, as taking a drive-through penalty alone here at Misano is going to be 28 seconds onto your lap time. Now, when you come in and take tires and fuel, you will be looking somewhere around the 63-second stop time, which is going to be about 67% of your lap. Bruno Pio here getting excited. He wants the overtake back on Quinn Smith. Is he going to do it in the same spot that Quinn did it to him? Let's find out. We're approaching that part here of the track, but you can see Quinn, he is not going to have any of it. He actually leaves the gap open, surprisingly. That just shows the true confidence there of Quinn Smith. Pay no mind to him running off the track and getting overtaken. He's side by side still as we go through. Okay, he's not done yet. The Audi is a rocket ship out of a corner. I think that's going to be his only saving grace here, but no, he's too far behind as he reached the corner. Late on the brakes, though, late lunge onto the outside. Switchback attempt here for Quinn Smith. Bruno Pio, though, under full control of that car. He is going to get the overtake secured for this current moment, but these two, you can't take an eye off these two, Dan.
I think that's going to carry over till the finish line. I really want to see how their pit stop is going to turn out.
We are approaching that pit phase as well. We're almost halfway into the race. We got about another 2.5 minutes to go before we hit that. Yes, 1.5 minutes, excuse me. And Quinn Smith here as well behind. Christian Dubé is putting the pressure onto CJ Engine, and behind him is going to be Cryotheus as a back marker. So anything can happen. Quinn Smith is in.
That's surprising. They didn't both bid at the same time.
Flash of the headlights there from CJ Engine onto Professor Chronotis saying, I am coming through, sir. And yes, he most certainly is. So is the Porsche. Chronotis, though, is not going to be too thrilled with that Porsche. I don't think he wanted the Porsche to go through there, but Christian Dubé is not taking no for an answer, and he is going to come through.
Ricky's car just went straight onto
I think he disconnected.
third last turn and crashed and disconnected.
Yep. Unfortunately, I cannot select Ricky Scott, so I can't see a replay of that.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Disappointed with his qualifying. Not the greatest start to the race, but he had a decent recovery towards the middle there. Unfortunately, with a disconnect, and that will put an end there immediately to his charge and give the position to give positions to a few other drivers.
Drive-through penalty for Bliskid. Track limits.
Also, Eric Gakassian coming into chat and typing while driving and not doing the greatest job of it, but still.
And Twin Stars Sean, no, this is a doubleheader. First race was 30 minutes, this race is 45 minutes. And the series actually varies every week. So it's between doubleheaders and enduro races. And the enduro rounds have 90 minutes.
Yeah, I can pop up the calendar here just briefly, and we can see this action happening on track. I don't want to take it for too long. Actually, I don't even want to pop it up, but we'll pop it up here for a second. You can see the calendar there this week, 30-45 doubleheader and 90 minutes next week, 35-45 after that, and it varies, as Dan said, every single week. So if you are interested there, once again, you can find it over on SimGrid here. In chat, you can find the link to that where you can find our championships, all of our championships, including Monday Rookies, Thursday Thursday M2 Reverse Grid, and the move there from Cryotheus here in our Sunday GT3 Championship.
I assume that's Ricky Scott in chat. That's very, very unfortunate, Scott. But, you know, there's always the next race. Do we have a drop round in this?
I am not sure. I'm so bad with knowing that. There might be a drop round. Typically there's a drop round, so there might be on this one, but don't quote me on that. And yeah, unfortunately, Ricky, got tapped on the turn. Not a big deal, but yeah, someone cut behind you, and you hit him. Go to the left, missed, it's unfortunate. Look forward to next race, and, head down in the future. Not worried, I mean, it's hard to go into a race mentally when you're already not too happy, and when you come out, just like I say, look up. What is that I see? Dan, do you see what I see?
Oh, no. No, the fight, it's all over.
Quinn Smith.
Was that a pit drive-through or a track limit?
It has to be. It has to be a pit lane. Speeding in the pits for Quinn Smith.
Oh my.
That is huge. We also have Anton Vaus and Dennis Chavez here going at it up ahead of these two, but wow. That's so big. Also, Sean Daniels, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. I wanted to see that battle continue. Bruno Pio is going to be happy, but is he though? That's his his confidant, his rival there. Is confidant the right word? I think that's the opposite word of what I'm looking for. Hold on. No, it's his confidant. I was right. Yeah, that's close enough to how I would describe him.
I ain't gonna hear French. Also, I'm a big fan of Skylar Lovegren now. He's the only car on track that hasn't bit yet.
Make that...
As I say...
Let's change that.
You're just getting into the bits.
And actually, Ronaldo Velezquez still has... Oh, no, he has pitted. Just didn't update. Bruno was the one I was looking at there. So, yes, all drivers at this point are coming in for their pit. Skylar Loverinkin. And that is going to be our final pit stop of the night. Why is Skylar Loverinkin P14 on my timing chart? Something's wrong with it.
I said P1. Now it's a matter of see if Verçosa is going to come out in P1 after Loverinkin's pit.
Nice little scrap here between Christian Dubé and CJ Engine. So far, Christian coming out on top of this one with Dennis Chavez 1.5 seconds up the road.
Wayne Smith coming out of the pits after serving his drive-through in P15. Such a heartbreak.
Yeah, that really is. And I don't know what position. Is he in P15 or is he P... My ACC TV seems to have no idea what's going on when it comes to positions right now. Skylar Lovrink is in P23 for me. This is odd. I don't know what to think about this.
Actually, yeah, Skylar just left the pits and still keeps his P1. Verçosa
there it updated.
Still a bit far off.
Okay, everything is updated again now. Quinn Smith is in P15 where he should be, and Skylar Lovrink is in P1. That was really odd. The guys in the truck are definitely not getting me the data that I require there. We have Dixon Hurst, somebody I haven't covered too much, and somebody who I'm pretty sure is new to the Trackalicious Leagues, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit deep into the corner, but that's going to give him a decent run, potentially onto the switchback. Not quite, actually, as we can check up here also with Ashley Forrester and Kevin Yu. Kevin Yu just getting by Ashley Forrester. I wanted to catch that, but unfortunately didn't quite get it. Ashley, will he maintain the gap here onto the straight? This could be potentially a position back for Ashley Forrester. Let's ride on board with him. Coming onto the start-finish straight now. Through curb to Misano. Big lift of the throttle, that dirty air really affecting Ashley Forrester's McLaren. And that, you can see, gives a massive advantage to Kevin Yu up ahead. Struggling through the first few corners there. A little indecisive on the gearing. Wide and poof, good correction. Ashley here, sticking with Kevin. but only just. I think Kevin does have the ability here to pull away from Ashley Forrester. Up ahead, Christian Dubé and Dennis Chavez. This is for P6.
And don't forget the CJ engine right behind, lurking in, trying to capitalize whatever happens in this fight.
And wow. So Ollie Raza has made his pit stop as well, so is Skylar Lovebrink, and we have the consensus of the undercut versus the overcut. Ollie Raza going for that undercut actually no, he went for the overcut, excuse me, it was last race that he did the other. And this time around, not working again. Ollie Raza is going to be about 8 seconds behind. We'll see if he can catch that gap up and maybe overtake Skylar, which he did last race. But this time around, 16 minutes left to go, 7-second gap, and trying to battle with Skylar Lovebrink. That is a tall order to be had.
Oh, CJ engine's going for the outside overtake, perhaps? The old switcheroo?
Oh my, this is lovely setup here from CJ Engine. Is he going to get enough exit though? That's the question. The McLaren is a rocket ship in the straight line. The AMG has not gotten the love that it's deserved in the past few updates, that's for sure. In terms of...
Yeah, yellow flag up ahead.
Yes, there is. Who is that? That is Ronaldo Velezquez, I think that was. No, it wasn't. Ronaldo Velezquez is catching with Bruno.
Like Henry.
Interestingly here, fastest car on track in terms of raw pace alone, straight line speed, Bruno Pio holds that title actually at 256 kilometers per hour. Right behind that, Quinn Smith in P2 for the, not in P2, in second quickest in a straight line. At 1 kph slower, 255, and that is going to be a three-way tie between Velezquez. It's interesting to see. So McLaren, quickest overall, Audi, then Ferrari at 255.
Oh, we see a contact between Dubé and... Is that a back marker?
Very well may have been.
Oh my.
A little unfortunate there. Let's take a look at what happened. Oof. Big... we unfortunately just caught the very tail end of that, but yeah, big contact, which has resulted in a very awkward engagement there between the McLaren and the... Who is that? That is Bruno no, it's not Bruno. I don't know who that was, actually.
That'd be Anthony.
Oh, Anthony, yes, in the Rockefeller Racing, of course. I will say, one thing that's really interesting to see for me there in terms of the straight line speed trap, the McLaren has been so dominant since it came out post 1.9 in terms of its straight line speed. In fact, just recently, it had to have a BOP change on, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was on Spa-Francorchamps, where the McLaren had, I think, 30 kilos of ballast, 20 kilos of ballast added into it, and the Ferrari had 30 kilos of ballast removed just so those two cars could be somewhat competitive.
Okay, speaking of that, I'm not gonna name the community, but I did see a 24-hour race coming up, Spa race, and there were a singular team signed up 22 cars, and all of them 22 McLaren Evos.
Wow. Yeah.
That is, it did need a BOP because you could clearly see which was the dominant car for that track.
And even with the BOP changes, I think now that you mentioned as well, that Spa race that the BOP change was had on, I think it was an SRO race where, yes, every single driver entered in the McLaren Evo 2, and that kind of was the start of, hey, maybe this car is a bit broken, maybe we should nerf it a little bit. And, well, they have nerfed it a little bit, but it is still quite the dominant car on the grid. Right now, though, not the case. 2 Ferrari 296s are actually leading, which that I haven't seen in a long time. Stephen Poe here. This is for P17. Professor Chronotis under some pressure. Big squeeze there from Chronotis.
Oh.
Is gonna result in contact. That is a tough one. Stephen
Don't know how
Poe
it is.
does get the position, but yeah, that'll be an interesting one for the stewards there, Dan.
I would say Poe needs to give the position back. He does not want a post-race penalty.
Was that net code? I don't think so. I don't think that was net code. I think that was definitely contact. That was a hard one to judge, though. It could be deemed as a I could easily see that being deemed as a racing incident, but I could also easily be seeing it as a penalty in favor there of Professor Kenotis, so a penalty towards Bruno Pio. No, not Bruno, excuse me.
No,
Cryotheus.
Oh,
wait, who?
no, it was Poe.
It was Poe. Stephen Poe, excuse me. Let's not start giving penalties to the wrong people here. Steven Music here with Phil Cryotheus. Phil being a bit of a bottleneck right now for Steven. And that's Casey Schutte behind. Casey is currently in P10. So looking to get some blue flags dispatched with, actually, or is that Eric? That could be Eric Gakosian in a stolen livery now that I think about it. Hold up. Oh, it is Eric Gakosian in a stolen livery as a back marker. Never mind, no blue flags required. Quinn Smith trying to make that ground back up after the drive-through penalty. P15 is the position for now. He's trying to make that 14. And it looks like that will be an easy 14 as Jason Provolone has a wobble under braking and lets Quinn Smith easily through. Casey Jackman in the AGS battling with Ronaldo Velezquez here for P11. Trying to make their way into the top 10 potentially here. 4 seconds up the road is Casey Schutte. Casey all over him. Gonna rub a hole into that bumper. Christian Dubé has just picked up a drive-through penalty also. That's gonna be a track limits extension. The steward's not too thrilled with his usage of the white line there. And this looks to be a pretty easy overtake for Casey Jackman. I've said that a few times though. This time, it looks to be true. Very much overspeed for the Lamborghini Evo 2 and a nice and simple late on the brake maneuver to get the Puerto Rican dispatched there to P12.
Dave's right. It's still on the hunt for Chavez.
Was there contact?
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw a little bit of contact.
I saw a little bit of a movement there. That camera angle was absolutely awful, so let's get a better one here. As we see Jace Wright, he's tailing, and he's gaining massively under braking here. Oh, most certainly. There was quite a hefty tap, actually, there.
No wonder.
The McLaren, as well, really struggles to damage like that. That can actually affect your lap time by up to half a second a lap. Can also do nothing. Sometimes the game doesn't quite understand what happened. That was a very light tap onto the side pod. Well, not side pod, excuse me. The rear side panel, so not quite touching the diffuser, which would be the real issue there. If the diffuser gets damaged, that McLaren becomes almost undrivable. Jace Wright here, let's see if he can dispatch of him. Did Dubé get another DT? No, he has not served that DT yet. Christian Dubé still yet to serve that one, so that is the same drive-through penalty that he had before. Required to be served within 3 laps, of course, otherwise you will be receiving a more hefty penalty, but you do have 3 laps to make that decision. Chase Wright, gonna be trying again in the same corner. Trying a different way, though. Alternate line being taken. That's gonna result in him going deep at a big moment of oversteer. Behind, we have a couple back markers getting involved. That's Hurst. Also, somebody that I almost rode out of the race earlier on, Darren Thomas, who was down in P28 at one point in time. He's made his way back up to P23, lapping at a 137.5 each lap. Wait, each lap? No, 135.2 is his quickest lap. 137.5 last lap. He's stuck behind Ashley Forrester, that is why. Oh, no, it is, of course, I turn off of the fight, Jace Wright and Dennis Chavez. They find the conclusion to that battle. Or do they? That is the question. Up at the front, Ollie Raza came out of the pit stop with a 7-second gap to Skylar Lovering. As of this second, we are down to 2.5 seconds and closing. Last lap, Ollie Raza 133.8 to a Skylar Lovering 133.8 to Ollie Raza's 133.3. So 0.5 difference. If he can keep that up, he may catch Skylar Lovering. But one thing that we all know, as the late great Murray Walker once said, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake. And thank you, Crixie Grape. I'm not sure if that's how you say that or not, but it's how I'm going to say it. Thank you very much for the follow. CJ Engine, Christian Dubé, Dennis Chavez. 4-way battle here with Jace Wright for P6. That is going to be Christian Dubé into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty here. Let's hope he doesn't speed in the pit lane. Looks like he slows down well before the pit board. Dennis Chavez getting very antsy. Jace Wright might be a little bit of a thorn in his side here.
Mike, I still think there's a chance of the lead of the race being turned to Ollie Raza, because he was just 7/10 faster than Skylar Lovering, and there's a 1.5 second gap between those two.
How the heck does Ollie manage that? I just don't understand. He's on older tires, and he's lapping quicker than Skylar Lovering. That is what you call alien status, of course. Of course, when you're lapping faster than an alien himself, that is, well, once again, we have an emote for specifically that. And we'll keep an eye on that. Ollie Raza actually just dropped back a second. So, maybe struggling, maybe not. We'll see. Could just be along the line. Skylar Lovering just picking up the pace a bit. Well, I don't know what to think there. We might see some developments. It's going to be, Ollie Raza's got a lot of work cut out for him. As well here, CJ Engine does too. Dennis Chavez is a cage fighter. Let's see if he can hold his position. They'll be inside line for the final corner, but no. Or penultimate corner, excuse me, but no. It is going to be CJ Engine who takes the win of that bout. We'll check in now with our race leaders. Why don't we ride along here with Ollie Raza? Actually, hang on.
Yeah, you see Skylar Lovering having some trouble with a back marker.
I also want to see this. Casey Schute's caught up with Dennis Chavez and CJ Engine.
Oh, now Raza has some toe from the back marker.
Oh man, okay. This is, I don't know who to watch. I don't know who to watch.
Drive through for track limits for a car row. Number 20.
Ollie Raza does negotiate that back marker very well, actually, and is going to be gaining under braking. Look at that. We have 2 laps to go here. And it's going to be a scrap to the very end. Casey Schutte trying to get what he can do, or get done what he can get done as well here. Dennis Chavez, can he get it into the hairpin? He's going to be trying to set it up to get the better exit here. You can see him taking that alternate line, and this switcheroo looks like he is going to have the overspeed and the overlap as well. The McLaren, though, is quick. No slipstream advantage there from Casey Schutte, and now heading into the braking zone, it will be the inside line, but he is firmly ahead before they reach corner entry. Dennis Chavez, will he have a response? We will find out. Because I think, though, all eyes are going to be on this for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Excuse me, not Ollie. Daniel.
Yeah. I'm watching here. I may be seeing, I'm not sure.
Whoa! Big send and big contact! Oh man, flash of the headlights from Skylar Lovering. He is not happy.
He's lifting up. I see the turn signal on.
Is it? Yeah, it looks, well,
I
is it?
saw it briefly. Ollie Raza signaling to the left.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe he will use, perhaps?
We're going to go back and see this one again, okay? We have a pretty good camera angle here in the Helicam. We're going to watch it again. Big late send. The gap was there, but Ali Raza not able to get his car stopped in time. And rightfully so, Skylar Loverink upset with that.
If anything, I would expect Raza to lift at the end of the race. Just to give him Skylar the win. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, but why wouldn't we give it back now then and fight for the win? That's the question. Nonetheless, Ali Raza, we'll see if the stewards have any decisions on that one after the race. As Sean has pointed out, that is another one for the stewards, and yes, it is. They got their work cut out for them in this race. Nice here. Quinn Smith on a recovery drive from the drive-through penalty. He was up battling with Bruno Pio, who actually has a yellow flag right now.
Yeah, it's him.
What's happening?
Last turn.
This is going to be an unforced error, maybe? Or is that back marker going to get involved here? That's the question. Oh, no! The back marker. Oh, no! That's so unlucky.
Leaders on final lap now.
On double
Oh.
That's...
I think that was Raleigh Duche there, unfortunately, who was collected in that. Moving over to the side, I don't think he saw the car on the outside, unfortunately, and, well, what happened there.
Position to walks.
Wow, you're right. Yeah, Bruno Pio does lose a position, 1.5 seconds, and I don't think he's going to be able to make that up here on this last lap as the leaders. They are going to be coming to a close of this race here. Ali Raza will be taking the win on track, but the stewards will see what their decision is at the end of, well, next week we'll know.
One more lap to go.
Oh, you're right. Wow. Holy smokes. Wow, yeah. I mistimed that completely. Ali Raza, one more lap. Final lap to go here. All right, we have a battle on as well from Quinn Smith. He did get the position there from Castaldini.
Come on.
Next up is Ronaldo Velezquez. Bruno Castaldini as well going to be trying to take that position back from Quinn. Quinn may be quicker, but he's not quicker if he's stuck behind Ronaldo, who is not quicker. Quinn Smith, 136.1 last lap to 136.0 for Ronaldo, but Quinn with a 133. Whoa, what a move from Quinn Smith. Okay, that was 300 IQ movement from Quinn Smith right there. We need to go back and watch that. So we're about to watch a McLaren come out of nowhere, and this is, look at that awareness. That awareness from Quinn. I didn't see that coming. That is true talent right there at its finest. Quinn Smith almost having his race come to a close, but having to take that compromised line and allowing Ronaldo Velezquez, allowing Bruno there to basically play himself. And Quinn gets the overtake as well. Oh, nice job, Quinn. But yes, as Dan is saying, Ali Raza will be taking the win on track in a flash of the headlights from Skylar Loverink. The stewards will be deciding the win of this race, I have no doubt. And I think we will potentially see that going to Skylar Loverink's favor. But once again, I am not a steward, and I don't envy their job today. Vadik will be coming home for a podium finish. A flash of the headlights as a celebration. Great drive there from the Eastern European. Wait, is he Slovene? I've forgotten where Vadik is from. I completely apologize, Vadik. Let's see, do you have your flag? No, you're American. So the American driver, we'll call him a Vadik.
There's still a three-way fight on the back straight between Quinn Smith, Velezquez, and Castaldini.
Castaldini has a few corners left to get the position under Ronaldo. I find it optimistic that Ronaldo will overtake Quinn here.
Something can still unfold? Question mark?
Oof, Eric with a 30-second stop go, or the 30-second penalty as well. Whoa, Quinn Smith loses it!
Did he get into the pits? Oh, no, he didn't.
Quinn Smith loses it
God.
after the penultimate corner. No contact was made here. You can see the wobble off onto the grass, and he tries to keep his foot in it, and my goodness.
Yeah, that's little bit of the grass at the end on the turn in. Lost the rear.
2 positions
Wow.
in less than a tenth of a second there for Quinn Smith. Wow, you blink and you miss it on the last lap. What a finish, Dan.
Yeah, that Audi. I don't know if it was something with the tire wear, but Quinn Smith looking at maybe his head was all over the place with the drive-through he picked up for the rest of the race. Not sure.
Very well could have been.
Yeah.
If we can get our top 3 drivers, Ollie Raza, Skylar Lovrink, and Vadik, into the green room here for the end, we're going to have a hot podium room, I presume. So let's get some of these drivers rounded up for this. And we're also going to pop back into the booth as well and get some replays up in the background. So welcome back to the booth, everybody. Mike Nause here. Dan Verçosa, of course, going to be providing the color as well and not in the booth with me today. Not able to make the Misano flight. You know, I understand the flights from from Brazil, they can be a little bit expensive, you know, and Trackalicious, we're kind of, no, I maybe should have said that. Nonetheless, we're waiting. We're waiting here for these drivers. We have Ollie Raza and Vadik Odstitsiev here. And Dan, why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, Ali Raza, amazing drive. We saw the overtake at the end. What's your say on that? That got us intrigued. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, in the race, I think I opted to change the tires while Skylar didn't, so I knew I had pace on him. So it was just a matter of catching up to him, and I saw an opportunity. I went for it. I mean, there was a little bit of contact, but I don't know. It could be either way, but seems fair to me. But I don't know. But yeah, it was a really good race.
Congratulations for
Thank
that
you.
pace. We saw the seconds being scratched off lap after lap. But yeah, that incident happened. We'll see if the stewards are gonna have a say on that. So anyway, that is not a pace that not anyone can do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We don't have Skylar Lovrink here. I'm not sure.
He was in the chat. You could probably drag him if you want.
Yeah, let's drag him here. Let's hope we'll see.
Oh, there he
Hey,
is.
Skylar, welcome to the stream room. I don't know if and I kind of forced you in here, but if you are willing for an interview, you are muted. But let's see. While we're doing that, why don't we go over Vadik real quick?
Vadik, amazing recovery drive for, let's say, the Porsche Cup and the first race. How do you feel with that P3? Congratulations for the podium.
Well, you know, that was my first podium, my first one. I'm happy, but yeah, I was pushing like a madman. I will say, I don't know how they're so fast. I don't get it. I mean, I know they practice, but I cannot do it. I cannot keep up the pace. But I'm happy with what I was able to achieve. I'll say that, and it was fun. I love Misano. I always have. It's one of my favorite tracks, one of my best tracks. That and Nürburgring, and I can't really say much else. But I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, but you're here, and that's your first podium. So congratulations. That hard work paid off.
Thank you.
Really paid off.
Thank you.
Okay, so nothing from Skylar still?
Yeah, it's okay. I think Skylar might have stepped away. That's all good. No worries. And no, he is here.
He is.
Skylar.
I'm here.
Lovely.
Skylar, yeah, amazing pace. We saw that there was interchangeability with your strategy and Raza's between race 1 and race 2. We saw the rain that came on race 1, and you stood with the dry tires. But this race, you pitted early. Was it or later? And did it pay off? And can you tell us a bit of what happened on that incident at the end? We saw, and we already talked to Raza. What's your take on it? Oh,
Yeah, so I pitted later. I fueled probably a little too much. I think I had like 8 laps left to fuel at the end, so way too much fuel. And I didn't take tires. I wasn't really sure what Raza's plan was, but I figured that I could probably run high 33s, low 34s, which would probably make up 5 seconds. But yeah, tires kept dropping off, but other than that, I think it was a good race. Yeah, maybe a little aggressive on the pass, but other than that, I think it was pretty good. Definitely, probably would have had some other opportunities in the next couple laps, but that's all right.
Yeah, we saw both podiums from race 1 and race 2. We'll definitely be looking, and that was just the first round.
I gotta say one more question as well for you, Skylar. How does it feel at the end of the first race? How are you feeling when that was the checkered flag? And I know you probably were thinking just one more lap. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know. I knew I had the pace. Yeah, I just messed up with starting up on the wet tires. I figured that it would be greasier for longer, and just overpressured the tires. I think if I would have dropped a couple psi, it would have probably been the right call. But yeah, just didn't work out. But yeah, I pitted for dries, and they were under pressure to start with. But I knew that as the track dried out, I'd get some better pace going in there, and almost had it.
Very close indeed, but unfortunately close, but not close enough. But also, congratulations on both your podiums, and congratulations again to Vidiq for his first ever podium. That is huge, and what a drive it was. And as well, Ollie Roser for taking the win here tonight. And thank you guys. You guys, all the drivers, you're all free to go. So thank you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you too. Thanks to the audience as well.
Thank you, everybody.
Dan taking the words out of my mouth there. Thank you very much to everybody tuning in for the stream and has tuned in for all the streams prior as well. We are going to be rating tonight, so we'll get that rolling before I forget to get that rolling. We're going to be rating Carneal. He's going to be driving some ACC. But big thank you to everyone for participating tonight and tuning in. And once again, thank you so much to Daniel Verçosa for his commentary debut, and what an excellent job it was, Dan. Thank you so much.
It's been a real pleasure. Really excited for the next races that will come.
I am as well. I cannot wait myself. But thank you guys so much for participating. Once again, I hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I'm Mike Nause. Thank you, and good night.